And at the moment, this feels like old MVP that I'm watching. Like, everybody's playing okay, and then Zion's just hard carrying them right now.
Trying to hard carry, at least. Zeph, he's been a real linchpin in MVP success in the last couple of months, but this time not going to have any impact on the round. Execute above the smoke. Such a danger, man. Just dancing around. And he's going to spot the first down. Very, very close shotgun ult for him. Does get one before being traded out, and I think one is probably enough. MVP just don't have the control of the bomb site that they need to really make this one even scary, and obviously they haven't found any frags that have any real meaning. Zeph will fall. HSK cannot calibrate the aim there. 8-4. Tyloo instantly respond to what happened in the last round.
Oh man, MVP. They really need to wake up here because Zion is the only one who's doing any kind of work for them at the moment. Stax and Zeph have their moments here and there. HSK and Zeta in particular having a really rough start to Dust 2. And this is the map pick of MVP. This is the map that Tyloo hasn't played them on, and it should be towards the lower end of the pool for Tyloo, despite the fact that they've been working on it quite a bit. So this is a map that MVP, they need to make their mark on it. This round in particular, very, very good control of Catwalk very early. HSK just runs straight up there. So this is some key map control that they haven't had very often. Let's see if they can potentially put it to use. There's a good opener for HSK, stepping up a little bit more, taking Bentet out of the equation. That's man advantage and good map control for MVP. This is a round they cannot afford to throw away. This is a huge advantage for them.
Oh, somebody almost gets picked off there as well.
Comes the push from Tyloo. They're stuck in between a rock and a hard place with MVP coming towards long here, but they're getting punished for it. HSK again.
But it's Execute still on the bomb side, and he is such a danger, man. Needs to take the peek onto long. Zeph is going to shut him down. He did get Zion in the meanwhile, but really needed more, and he knew that he was being pressured from both sides.
MVP now going to try and put the bomb down. There's no kit for these Tyloo players. Both of them are very low, so this is going to be a pretty hard retake to be completing, particularly because Stax has a Molotov to throw down on short once again.
Oh, that shot, if that hits, somebody's going to go aggressive though into CT spawn. Do they expect this? He's creeping up, and he'll get the shot onto Zeph. Now it suddenly starts to look doable. If that shot hit, I don't know what I would have said. Probably some expletives. There's another chance, another opportunity, another try, really, I think is what I should be calling it there. Somebody's giving it his best shot. The jumping AWP, it's not going to favor him this time. Can he save the AWP on through? Looks like he will. It's made it a little expensive for MVP, which is still important in the grand scheme of things if you look at where MVP's money is at.
It was a very important round for both teams to be winning in terms of the economic situation, so MVP, they took it away, but they lost a lot of players in doing so, a lot more than they should have, considering they had a huge advantage in the earlier parts of the round thanks to HSK. But good decision-making, which hasn't been what's been lacking from MVP. The overall strategy, you have to say, a lot of the time, they are going for the right approach, but it's really been, are they hitting the right timings? Are they all on the same page when they need to be? And are these individuals stepping up to the level that they need?
A late cross here for Tyloo, so MVP I think are going to take advantage of that. Look what somebody's been able to do though. He's walked up mid, jumped on Xbox, cleaned up one. Player advantage here for Tyloo, but bomb site in control of MVP, and that's B. Somebody is peering over the smoke. He's going to get another one. This is a winnable round now for Tyloo. The bomb still hasn't been planted. Tyloo are just waiting to explode out onto this B bomb site. Here we go. It's all on Zeph really to clean a few up. Zion's going to help out there, but somebody in the meanwhile still able to get one. Attacker's found himself on AK, and Zeta's on his own. Tyloo have done exactly what MVP did to them earlier in the half. They've taken a pistol round, and really it was the AWP that did it for them, but gods, what a play from Execute.
They've broken MVP's money. Only Zeph's got enough to buy AK and armor. The rest of them going to have to make do with whatever they can get.
Yeah.
And on the T side of Dust 2, I actually view Dust 2 in the current meta at least being T-sided. So the fact that Tyloo is doing so well on their CT side, it's fantastic for them. A 9-5 half already, and now going against a pretty weak buy from MVP could be a 10-5 half. This is excellent start to MVP's map pick. And then heading forward onto the other two maps, it's not the end of the series for MVP. The last two times that they played Tyloo, they've beaten them at Mirage, and then heading on to Train, it's a map that MVP's played has a lot more reps on recently than Tyloo, at least in officials. But Tyloo has still beaten them on it recently, I believe, and they aren't too bad on it themselves. So many factors, so many opportunities for both teams in this series. But the big problem and the big talking point is that Tyloo, these individuals look so sharp at the moment, and MVP, they're a bit of a missed opportunity so far on Dust 2.
Yeah, definitely. Not just one missed opportunity, a couple. And that's what's really haunting them here. Excurate opens nicely. It's Zion that won't play any more part in this round, and already the fact that, you know, MVP have lost an early player, they've got a pretty substandard buy. You're looking towards a 10-5 now for this half. And Tyloo from there may well be able to run away with Dust 2. Summer's got himself a really nice line here to play with. Gets the tag onto Zeta. No kill from it. Somebody's here to help him out, but he gets cleaned up quite comfortably. Now Summer's really going to be under pressure here, and if he doesn't hit some good shots, he'll go down. The one shot hit, but still does fall. Now MVP have got control of the bomb side. It's 3v3. Excurate has the AWP for the retake, which again is probably less than ideal here. So a chance for MVP to make something happen. Bentet just walks right into the crossfire. Attacker's got no idea where anyone is. Excurate finishes off Zeph, but he's got 2 more to find. I just feel like the communication for Tyloo, a little bit awkward on those B bomb site retakes.
Well, MVP scrape it together, scrape together what they could have with the buy, and scrape together the last round in the half of what was not an impressive one.
Yeah, definitely still keeps MVP with a chance.
For sure.
But that's about as good as it's going to be right now for them. Tyloo definitely leading heading into half-time, but we'll be back very shortly with the second half.
What are you doing? I love you. Thank you so much.
Whoa, Jess, what the frickety frick? Whoa! Whoa!
The whole gifting subs thing, that is magical.
Subdivide. I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The man, he is the one. You build your walls with faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all divide. The burden to be borne. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction.
MVP struggling a little bit here in the first half against Tyloo, but not struggling enough to make it really seem like, okay, it's all over. Certainly has swung the odds, though. Going into that first map of Dust 2, MVP was in front a little bit, but now it's Tyloo, and I think that's fair enough. I do think Tyloo's looked better thus far on Dust 2, but MVP could be a one-half wonder here for them, and then all of a sudden they're up 1-0.
I think MVP going to need to have a bit of a halftime chat, wake up a little bit. Zion and Stacks definitely had their moments in that last half. HSK, maybe one round that he was really contributing, but across the board it's been a little bit less consistent than all of Tyloo, who have looked pretty good so far in this game. Somebody in Execute in particular are here to play, and that's a scary, scary prospects that MVP are going to have to overcome if they want to take away this series. This is an important one. This is for... you know, securing the fact that MVP might be the best team in the Asian region. This is for a spot at ESL Pro League Finals. So... yeah,
basically.
90%.
Technically, tomorrow's games...
maybe more than 90% of the time.
Yeah, I would say so. Tomorrow's games could have an impact, but it's unlikely. So winner here probably is the team we're going to see through Doxatane.
Up mid from MVP, gets them a little bit of information, but they start to back out now. Tyloo grouping up in towards this B tunnels, and Stacks, he needs to hit these shots, but he's not hitting them at all.
No, that's the same as the last pistol round that we saw. Zeph going to give it his own crack, and that's worked out pretty nicely for him. Zeta now will set himself on the line, but Summer is there to shut him down. And a few kills actually coming through here for Tyloo. Oh, HSK. Well, we saw some questionable aim from him in the first half, I think it's fair to say, but those two shots, pretty crisp.
Closes it out for MVP, and that's a pistol round that they definitely needed. Last round, they might have got 6 rounds, but there was some shaky stuff in there from MVP. Yeah. They even won that 4th spy round where Zion just 4K'd the other team. You know, it's not some clean, crisp Counter-Strike that we're used to seeing from MVP. It has been scrappy, it has been messy. There's been some questionable performances from the individuals. Good nade. Over the top mid from HSK, starting to step it up in this half. I'm eager to see him continue that level of performance. So that's going to be a big talking point for MVP. Zeta as well needs to get it rolling. I mean, you talk about huge factors displayed even by Tyloo in the last half of this map in particular. It's the AWPer on the CT side. He needs to make impact for you on Dust 2.
Yeah, Zion, well, that's a little unfortunate. The player's just running around with the pistols, and he only had it from us. Means that at least the gun that goes over to Tyloo is not a particularly scary one. Or finishes it off for HSK, who's had a nice round there, 4 kills. Hopefully settles some of those nerves maybe for him. Obviously the 2 kills on the pistol, 4 kills in the anti-eco. Now HSK's aim has well and truly been given the opportunity to get rolling.
Yep. If you hadn't warmed up before the game, which I'm 100% sure you should have, particularly for this game, then you're getting a chance to warm things up in the game. 4-man setup towards long for MVP. They really want to dominate that part of the map, but Tyloo, they're going to not be anywhere towards there. It's the 4-man in tunnels very early on. It's just Stacks to hold down this B bomb site with the UMP. They're running straight into him. He doubles up.
Now he's got the AK as well, which not a bullet of it was fired. Gets another kill through the smoke there. His attacker will fall too. He eventually does drop to Bentet, but Bentet might suffer much the same fate.
He was the only player on that side of the map, Stacks. If he goes down, it's all over for MVP.
It's a good flashbang on through, and it actually is going to mean that Bentet can get the kill onto Zeph, but there's still more to find. HSK again, he's put himself up to equal numbers. He came into this with 5 kills in the first half. Now he's already up to 13.
Getting it rolling, MVP getting rolling, and that's a scary prospect for Tyloo. They had a great first half, but on their T side, we saw some miscommunication on some of those retakes on CT. They need to get the communication flowing. They need to get on the same page on this T side of Dust 2. Because if MVP start to get things going, they're pretty scary on this map.
Yep.
We've seen some rock solid CT sides from them on maps that are less favoured than Dust. Are shutting Tyloo out of long currently. Tyloo just with the Deagles trying to do damage in this round. Somebody's trying to walk through the smoke. Get away with it. Zion does punish him. Zeta's already got himself the AWP. This needs to be a clean one for MVP. You see some of their players lacking a little bit of cash. They need to hold on to all these guns. The second that they start to run out of money on the CT side of Dust 2, to get rough, there's already 1 kill for Tyloo.
Yep. Won't be an easy orb to retrieve though. Zeta, he's going to line them all up. The no-scopes, was that?
That was collateral.
2 no-scopes?
He collatered one of the no-scopes.
Oh my gosh.
It was 2 guns lost. Luckily, the orb gets recovered by HSK. So somewhat expensive round for MVP, but not the worst case scenario for them. Still looking okay on the cash on 3 of their players. 2 of them having a bit of a rougher time. Now, first gun round here for Tyloo. MVP have taken the lead, but we haven't seen an opportunity for Tyloo to really run their proper gun rounds just yet. Last round was a hard read on how they know MVP likes to play. This round, MVP is going to do the same thing. If Zach's can hold the B-bomb side by himself, then why not? Pressure on middle. Counter flash gets expended. Zeph uses the Molotov to flush Tyloo out of mid. Fantastic reactions from MVP.
Well,
they understand where the weaknesses are on their CT side. Oh, the push from Zion, unfortunate. Somebody does punish it.
Yeah, now it's all on Zeta on this A bomb site. That's exactly where Tyloo is headed. He has got the weight of the world on his shoulders in this round.
Yep, and he has been having a bit of a rough game so far. MVP with the hard read, they're going to double push into tunnels, so the longer Tyloo take, the more opportunities MVP do have to come straight back into this one. Zion going to give up that catwalk control and try to kill this one player towards long and play retake.
Yeah, and that's a good decision from Zeta as well. It means that the bomb site is going to be given up, but it's a 4v4 for the retake, and MVP have got control of long. Some are now trying to hold on to short, realizes there's too many players to deal with. Will back away, good Molotov down, but a couple of the MVP players make it through in time, and you still have to remember there's a player on long. So Tyloo are really trapped on this bomb site right now.
Stacks flashes out, and HSK starts to make his way up. Great flash.
It's a good shot as well. HSK has turned things around most definitely from that first half. Summer, however, has got himself up the back of short. HSK will go down, and it's all onto Zeta now. He would have wished he could have made more of an impact earlier in the round. Missing the shot there does mean that the round is over. Nicely played from Summer in the end.
Good job from somebody to repel that push very early on in the round, and MVP with some really, really gambly sort of setups in the early parts of the round. Very, very strong emphasis towards dominating long, and despite knowing that they are at a disadvantage, they're pretty good at covering some of their weaknesses. You saw Zeph very well aware that he had to get back to middle in time and use the utility to flush Tyloo out there. Then they realize they're at a pretty big disadvantage. They stack towards B. They know when to push. MVP, they're making good decisions, but sometimes it's just not enough, and Tyloo was still able to make things work. MVP, with a bit of a scrappy win to the last round, are going to buy up into this one, but it's a pretty lackluster one at that. No utility for Stacks. He's used all of it very early on. No utility on anyone, really. Zeta with the AWP is going to do the best, but now again, it's just coming back towards middle for MVP. Zeph's going to try and force his way out. Smoke comes out in towards mid. HSK and him are ready to lock this one down. So, decent scenario for MVP, but now Tyloo, they have utility. The CTs don't. Tyloo have catwalk control. They've made sure no one's pushed the extremities. This is a very favourable scenario for the Ts, provided that they can just execute the right strategy and use their utility advantage to win the round and put themselves in an even better position.
Zeta this time doesn't have to worry about long because Zion is still alive. So let's see if that changes the course of this one. Remember, Tyloo were easily able to get into the A bomb site last round, but this time they have to challenge the AWP. Zeta has been hitting some pretty good shots, but he's got a fair amount of utility headed in his direction. The smoke right on top of him means he's not going to be able to do anything here, and Attacker through the smoke will drop. A great shot from Zeta. He should spot somebody out here as well, missing that one. The bomb plant will go down here. Zeta cannot deny that.
VP pressuring Cat, and this is a pretty low player in Excurate that they have to contest with.
Again, Summer on the rotate around the back, and he's probably spotted those two guys going through the double doors. He actually gets Stacks. Zeta in the meanwhile, though, has a chance here onto somebody. Will be traded out by Zion. Bomb's planted for short, though. That's the benefit for Tyloo. They can still win this round. 2 players there. No smoke, no utility at all for MVP. It's on the aim of Zion. He does get the first. Excurate's very low, but HSK, he's running out of time. Has to sit this defuse. He doesn't actually have a kit. He's going to draw the peak, and he knows the round is over. Just gives it up. Can't even get that final kill onto Excurate. Wouldn't have been the cherry on the cake, but it certainly would have been a wooden spoon prize. It's a disappointing one for MVP to lose because they were so close to winning it as well. But 10-11, Tyloo, the last couple in a row, have gone their way.
These rotations in the late round have been so crazy between MVP and Tyloo. Just reads on reads and micro adjustments in the mid to late round from MVP. They just give up cat. They don't think they can go and take it. Then they go back towards CT. This is some pretty hectic and very, very snappy decisions to be making, like, pretty much on a dime.
Well, here's HSK's chance to maybe turn things around. Whoa, well, good shots hit from attacker.
Here's the thing, Tyloo, they've been winning these rounds, but they've been somewhat close, which means their economy hasn't really built up just yet. But if there's no damage done by MVP here, this is their opportunity to get their economy rolling.
Yeah. Next year it goes low. Zine finishes Ben Ted off, and oh,
There you go, the nade.
makes the round look a little bit better for MVP at least.
Bit of martyrdom,
Yeah.
bit of Call of Duty action.
Yep.
Drops the nade on his death. All right, well, MVP, they're going to be able to buy up into this one. It's not going to be a fantastic one. No utility for Zeta. He's just got the armor with the AWP. Not the best utility on anyone, really. So, again, a pretty rough situation on the CT side for MVP. They won't be able to take long. Look at this bombardment of utility. Tyloo realizes their economy's in a rough state of affairs and they can't fight and contest for this long area. So, MVP, they're going to give it up. Instead, they're going to go back towards Catwalk and just hold the control of that. Tyloo, they have long. Are they going to choose to execute from long or go back for some other kind of map control? Looks like at the moment they are just going to use this long control to try and get the round. What a shot from Zeta, though.
Wow, you don't hit that every day, but this is Zeta lining himself up. Oh, he almost hit that. I thought he hit it.
Yep. Okay. Zeta gets them the 2-man advantage, and now Tyloo, they're going to try to consolidate this by potentially putting Summer in a position where he can find a pick or two, and then somebody will be able to creep out middle towards Catwalk. It's really going to be on these individuals from Tyloo to hit some pretty sharp shots here. There's no real flashbangs to set them up or put them in good positions. This could be MVP doing a really clean round win here and getting their economy back in a good position.
Yeah.
Or this is going to start to get scrappy.
Well, they really need that clean round, don't they? And Zeph knows that somebody is there. The FAMAS, it's not working too nicely for him. Somebody will get away. Zeta missing a shot as well. HSK does bail them out of trouble on the site. Bentet is putting in some work with this AWP, but can't get HSK.
Every kill that he gets is so expensive for MVP. But like we said before, Tyloo, they hadn't been winning those rounds cleanly enough, and Bentet's and Attacker's money is going to be a little bit rough. So Tyloo, they have to decide, is 3 players with really good money a convincing enough state of affairs to buy up after you've only killed 2 of the opponents in that last round? MVP's going to have a little bit of money to lean back on. Difficult decision to be making at this scoreline for Tyloo. Things are still relatively close. So, depends how you look at it. You can let MVP win a round or 2 before you get straight back into things and have a really good wealth of money and a really good buy to go towards. But you run the risk of allowing MVP to get back in a good state economically, which has been a really, really bad thing that they've had to deal with those last couple of rounds. They haven't had full utility. They haven't had the ability to just play into the late round without hard rotating and all that stuff. Looks like a tactical to a technical. Tack into a tech.
That's the Asia Classic.
That's like a tic-tac, but a tac-tech.
Tac-tech, yeah. So something's going on in the game. Not sure what's happening, but we'll figure it out in a second. This game really is hanging in the balance, though, so, I mean, you can forgive whoever it is for calling this technical pause at this point. You don't want to be losing around based on something, some sort of little issue. Because this map may well be such a big part of why the next team, or whoever wins this, potentially wins the next map, and then in that case, you know, they're probably off to Occitane. So, you know, it is just 2 maps, right? So it's not that far. Everything is important. And at a 12-11 scoreline, where money on both sides is kind of in the balance, that next round probably has more of an impact than you might think on the surface.
Here's the thing, though. MVP, I feel like at this point, they have another level to be hit, and they're starting to hit that stride a little bit more. Zed is starting to get warmed up with the AWP. We're starting to see some impressive stuff from him. And Tyloo's a team that's notorious for having lapses in communication and sometimes struggling to scrape things through on the T side. So if MVP continue these individuals playing up to a high standard, when they are able to get their CT economy rolling, Tyloo may fall flat on this T side.
Yep. And then where does that leave them for Mirage, where they've lost it recently a couple of times to MVP?
They've lost it twice to MVP.
Yeah.
These last 2 times that they played, but they have been close affairs.
Yeah, and Dust 2 already we can see is close. But I think you got to give credit to MVP. You know, it really looked like they were kind of down and out in that first half, and they've been able to claw their way back in.
Good. Got to have a, you know, a new thank meme after that. Thank Mr. Design for carrying us through the hardest part of the game.
Well,
that man, that 4K with in the pistol round, like so many critical plays on that T side where it felt like MVP. If that man was not stepping up for them, this game would have been so one-sided. That would have been a really one-sided CT win for Tyloo, and then there wouldn't be much room to work with on this CT side for MVP.
Yeah, Zion has been such a solid player for MVP since he joined the roster. It almost felt like he kind of came out of nowhere and just instantly started carrying MVP when he was added to that.
Yeah.
That would have been 2 seasons ago now for MVP. Actually, quite a long time. It's funny to think about it but like I kind of still feel like he's one of the newer players, but in reality, like he's been here for ages now. He's one of the older players in the MVP roster.
Oh man!
And Zeta goes down early in the mid-fight.
It is a decision to buy from Tyloo, but like I said, they had pretty decent money on 3 of their players, and that money was good enough for Execute to get himself an AWP, and he takes one of the most dangerous players out of the equation for MVP on this CT side. Zeta's down on the AWP. A 4-on-5 situation that MVP will have to try real hard to consolidate. This is a very critical round. But if you want anyone picking up that AWP, it's going to be HSK. The man's been a primary for so long, and this is going to be his opportunity to shine. Usually you see another player on the CT side pick up the AWP, you go, what's he going to do with it? The primary AWP is already dead. Not for MVP. These lads still have some very strong AWPers that can do damage, and he's going to need to.
And in fact, when he was added to this MVP roster again, the second time, he kind of took that primary AWP position, but seems to have gone back to Zeta for now. So, hasn't been... it's not like HSK hasn't been AWPing lately. Trouble is, he's kind of rotated off to the wrong bomb site. MVP have been totally bamboozled. They've got 3 players in B.
Ooh, it's going to be a fake on short, and they're going to split mid to B. The gamble's paying off here for MVP.
The bamboozlers have been bamboozled. And it's a 3-player stack on the B bomb site. HSK starts off well. Oh, it's looking like it's going to go all wrong here for Tyloo. Those first 2 entries cleaned up so easily. They still don't know where Stacks is. And that'll be around for MVP. Surely Execute and Bentet are not going to be able to do anything here. An Indonesian duo, we've seen them do some pretty crazy stuff, but in a situation like this, it's not possible. And MVP, they totally bamboozled me. I was convinced Tyloo was going A.
I saw it coming. I really saw it coming, and I mean, that's just some great CS fundamentals from MVP. You got 2 options when you go down a man on the CT side. You go aggressive, either aided by some utility, or one of your players just goes aggressive and makes something of the round. It gets you back in a good situation. Or B, you just take a risk. You go for a bit of a gamble stack, and you hope it pays off for you. And MVP, they have been paid heavily back by some good decision making. And I say good decision making isn't usually associated with playing gimmicky, taking a risk, but that is where you do it.
Yeah. So MVP have got the money, Tyloo do not. Is this another one of those tipping points? It felt like a dangerous moment there. Execute with the Deagle. Who knows what he can do, but not this time.
We need MVP here if they're going to take this map away to win this round cleanly. Oh my god, HSK. Did this man literally went to the mirror and said, play better?
Yeah.
In half.
He's got 15 kills in this half. And here's a couple more for him, perhaps. There's one already onto Summer, but he's seen the next 2 players filtering out onto the site. Oh, not sure that he spotted Taka getting across. Oh, not the end of the world just yet. Zef spins around. It was like a 360 for him. Okay.
It may as well have been the end of the world. You can't be losing 3 guns there. You can't. Yeah. MVP. You need to keep your economy stable.
It's stable enough to get a good buy this round.
Oh, for sure. But then moving forward, now Tyloo's on a gun round. This is Tyloo's opportunity to put their foot straight back in the door. Look at how poor these players are. Zeta, Zef, Zion, HSK, they don't have more than $1,000. This is a potential for a reset for Tyloo. They're playing for 2 and then heading on to 14. It's not quite match point, but it's a pretty big scoreline. It's intimidating to look at.
Yep.
Now Tyloo going for a bit of control towards middle and towards Catwalk.
Good tag.
Lots of players here for MVP. They want to fight on this one. HSK has spotted the head. They know that Tyloo have made their way up catwalk and they're rotating accordingly. You can see the scramble from MVP to get in position. Flashes over towards short, a Molotov to slow this one down as they get players over towards Goose, Car. They've still got long control courtesy of Zion.
They have a really nice setup on this A bomb site though. Zeta's going to be the one pincer strike, and then when he starts taking that contact, we're going to see HSK start to swing out from Goose. Zion is locking down the bedroom angle, so there's no worries about that from the CT side. This should be a strong hold for MVP. Zeta gets tagged a little bit through the car, but he starts off well, being tagged quite heavily. HSK bides his time, waits to strike. Zeph already finding a frag here as well, puts another spanner in the works for Tyloo, but they have cleared the bomb site relatively well. Zion may well make the difference though. He's been spotted and cleaned up. Somebody picks up the bomb off the floor. And that really, I mean, multiple instances of that round, things went poorly for MVP that probably should have gone their way.
Well, somebody was the real difference maker there. That he cleaned HSK so cleanly out of Goose. Nice angle checking from the man. A very, very well-timed peek. And then as well deals with Zion, who could have completely torn that round apart for Tyloo.
Yep.
And now MVP. This is what happens when you don't manage your economy properly. Zion, HSK, Zeph. Double eco. They can't buy in the next round. They're going to have like 3.3k.
You say they can't. It's MVP.
They're going to have to.
Yeah, I think they will.
It's just such a rough state of affairs. And unfortunately, it goes back to that last round, or the round before last rather, where Tyloo had like 2 Deagles and 3 Glocks. You can't lose 3 guns to that.
Maybe MVP are going to be reaping what they've sown. The progression of them all through the T-spawn. Perhaps more of a funeral procession than anything for this map for MVP. Done some nice damage, but hey, I don't think it makes a difference. $14 up. So, you're right on MVP's front. They've got 3.3 on Zion, 3.6 on HSK.
3.7 on Zeph.
And Zeph can't even afford a rifle and armor.
They really can't. They're going to try and just do their best, scrape together what they can. Zeta will get himself an AWP. The rest of them with FAMASs, an MP9, very little utility. 4 players towards long once again. They're going to grab control of that, then quickly rotate off. Zeph and HSK going to make their way back towards middle very quickly. Zeta's just going to chill on that car angle. Zion deep smoke into long once again. Standard stuff here from MVP that we've seen time and time again. The problem is that they don't have a whole lot of utility to fall back on in the late round. They've used all of it to run their protocols to make sure that Tyloo can't take control of long. And Tyloo, they're going to go fine. Have it. We're going to go back towards catwalk, which we used so well in that last round. The control of that to win the round quite cleanly.
Zeta playing from a different position this time, though. It gives him a little bit more cover to duck around behind. Obviously, the box on the site. But it's going to be on Zeta here to win or lose the round for MVP.
That's it.
If he gets 1, not enough. If he gets 2, maybe they win the round. Tyloo backing away, and Zeta actually has rotated across again to play from long more so than from sight.
This position in particular, you could see Zion or Zeph go and gather information for MVP, but neither of them have done so. Neither of them have made the push on the extremities to try and grab MVP an advantage.
So again, it still continues to fall on the shoulders of Zeta, who hasn't been having the greatest of games thus far. But here's his chance. The first shot connects onto Attacker. That's good. Player advantage now for MVP, but where do we go from here? Bentet will crab walk his way onto the site. Zeta just catches a glimpse of him, but will not connect the headshot. Another important battle going to occur between Summer and Zion. HSK creeping up. Can he get the timing onto Bentet? He can, but he cannot get the shot. Zion at the very least does get the one on long. And Zeph as well has found somebody, so there's a huge player advantage here for MVP. But Tyloo have good positions on that bomb site. If they win a couple of aim duels, the round may well go their way. Zion, though, has been the one to carry MVP through this game so far. And in the second half, it's been HSK.
Good fundamentals get MVP through that round.
I mean, by the skin of their teeth, though. They have 4 players alive, but it feels like they only get through with the skin of their teeth.
Well, Set up. He did his job. He got that one pick. He fell away. He bided time for the rotations to come out. HSK, even though he misses that opportunity, Zeph makes good of it. Zion, he's not missing shots. He gets himself the key frag on long and the frag coming in for the retake. That's going to be a lot better of a buy. 4 guns taken over. They upgrade the FAMAS. They upgrade the MP9 both to AKs, and they keep a lot of that money in the bank. So they're able to convert that last round where they didn't have a good buy just through solid setups. Just very sensible counter-strike. We pick when they execute on the bomb site. We wait for our opportunity on the retake, and we set up for that and in the 5-on-4, and they use that to perfection. So now MVP, if they can make that buy work, they need to make this much better one work in this round in particular. They're going to have all the utility. They're going to have good rifles. This is a much better opportunity for them. Tyloo, similar situation to last round, but they're how do I say it? Their chance in this round is going to be even harder than the last because they have to go up against this huge amount of utility on the side of MVP, the much better weaponry. It's going to be even harder to convert this one. And if they don't do it, they're broke, and that's going to be match point for MVP. Same situation for MVP.
It's going to be a different option, though, in toward the B bomb side, and Stacks just says, see you later. He also gets cleaned up pretty quickly. Summer, where has that come from with the AWP? All right, it looked so good for MVP, but all of a sudden, B bomb site in control of Tyloo.
Fast double flank from Zion and HSK. They're going to expect at least one towards tunnel, but potentially not two. Zed is just posted up from deep in towards that middle door area, and he's going to make his way towards window. So a double push in towards uppers. Zed is going to smoke off tunnel. That's going to make Tyloo think that there's potentially either no one coming from there, or they're going to try to abuse this smoke. Zed is going to flash over, and they're going to go in.
There's still a player watching from back plat. It's Summer. He misses the shot. The opportunity is there for MVP, but it's not taken control of. Zion, the second player in, doesn't hit the headshot onto Summer, and he'll get cleaned up in the back with the AWP. Zedda's got too much to do here, surely. No time. The crossfire is massive. Tyloo aren't peeking. You saw the idea there for MVP. It almost worked. If Zion gets that headshot onto Summer at back plat, that's the round for MVP. But Tyloo, they managed to survive, and now it might well be their map.
A simple play, and what was a huge play from Stacks. The man just doubles up on the B-bomb site. It's a 5-on-3 for MVP, but that's just the X factor for Tyloo. It can be any one of these 5 players with any bloody weapon, Jordan.
Yeah.
Summer with the AWP just cracks it open for them, and that's just the power of Tyloo, man. Even if they're in a 3-on-5, backs against the wall, one of the lads steps up and pulls them through it in a critical round.
Attack pause here, and MVP, they still have an opportunity to push this one through to the overtime. There was a bit of cash to play with, so they're going to be able to scrounge a buy together. You got the AUG for Stacks. If he can get another couple of frags like he did, then maybe MVP's in with a shot. M4 for Zion, and look, not a lot to work with, to be fair, but at least something.
Tyloo don't need to do anything in the early round here, and they won't. They know MVP's money's absolutely cooked. They know all they need to do is wait out the little amount of utility that MVP have in this round, and then it's easy blue skies from there. Tyloo flash into middle, Molotov close doors so that they don't get picked by anyone playing close to that angle. They make their way up catwalk, flashbang over the top. That's catwalk control. They made sure both Summer and somebody hasn't seen anyone pushing the extremities from the CTs. So they're in prime position here, Tyloo. They're going to set up for a catwalk execute, which against a low buy is a very high percentage play.
Exactly. No AWP for MVP this time, but the danger man of Zion is posted up on the A-bomb side, so he's really going to be the linchpin here. Zedda might be good for one with that deagle. Gets through the smoke, but Zion has gone down early, so there's the one for Zedda. Is anyone else going to be able to step up here for MVP, or is the game going to be over? Tyloo have the numbers advantage now, 4v3. Bomb plant has gone down, and MVP aren't even in a position really to retake this bomb site just yet. HSK is running around in T-spawn. Stacks is doing the same. They're looking for guns maybe, but they're
looking for Summer.
Wasting valuable time. And they're not catching Summer, that's for sure. Zedda goes down, and this is Tyloo going to finish off map number 1. HSK is finished, and 16 is up there for Tyloo. MVP, they worked so hard to get to that point, but it was the economy game that you talked about that really let them down. And at the end of the day, they didn't have the guns, they didn't have the round wins that they need, and their map choice is going the way of Tyloo.
Look, you got to say, to some extent, you might say that's robbed away from MVP by Summer in particular in that 3-on-5, but exactly what you said, they made a lot of misplays as well on the side of MVP, and they came in a little bit too slow into that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots for us to discuss when we get to the post-match. That's going to be coming up shortly. For now, we head to a quick break. Map 2 after this.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we play, right?
Oh, it's a lovely sound in my ears, Alex. It's a lovely sound.
Who thinks that the North American Counter-Strike scene is back?
Chicago, make some noise for Team American.
This is their chance to grab a trophy on home soil.
Taco waits below it, though.
Taco waits below it and he holds! That's absolutely sensational!
Think you can't clutch through a smoke while recording in full resolution and streaming the play to the world? Watch this.
Counter-terrorists win.
Think you can't get famous in a flash? Like become your own meme famous? Watch this. Think he's been there, done that? With Intel Core i7, he's just getting started. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Bon spectacle.
The Pay Safeguard Ultimate Experience is your chance to win a trip to the biggest esports event around the globe. Get VIP access together with paid travel and accommodation. You will get a special event goodie bag and will also appear in your own personal aftermovie. An ultimate experience is guaranteed. Make sure to check out paysafeguard.com/esports for further information.
This is Game Fuel. 16 ounces of pure annihilation. Tastes like berry-flavored wind sauce.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
From the back roads to back streets, I see you foes trying to trap me, but I don't run like a track meet, even though I'm #1 like an athlete. And the way I maneuver around you and through you, I'm
Bloodjar, what are you doing? I love you. Thank you so much.
Whoa, Jess, what the frickety frick? Whoa! Whoa!
The whole gifting subs thing, that is magical.
the forces I'm about to bring, cause I'm the boss of all bosses. I penetrate your thoughts and fill them with doubt. You gon' feel where I'm coming and feel what I'm about. If they come in with the drama, I'm wheeling them out. Cause I ain't about to have somebody here stealing my clout. I keep my friends close, enemies closer. Cause that's the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. Anybody can see there's only room for one, and that one is me. Plenty tried, plenty failed. Too many times I seen plenty bail. And there will be no surprise what I'm about to do when you are looking through my eyes. See many go, see many come. See that they won't bring it to me, son. Try me if you want, but won't be any fun. I'll take the challenge, I'll beat anyone. I'm the one, I'll be quite clear. Bow down to no one, I'm right here. I get it in, I don't fight fair. And guess what? I'm your worst nightmare. I'm your worst nightmare. Are you prepared? I'm your worst nightmare. I know you scared. I'm your worst nightmare. Are you prepared? I'm your worst nightmare. I know you're scared.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Occitanie, Betway, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and PaySafeCard.
Well, we expected a close match between Tyloo and MVP. We weren't really sure exactly what we were going to get, but we have got that 16-14. It's gone the way of Tyloo and MVP's map pick. It was a really backwards and forwards game. Could have probably gone the way of MVP, but
should have.
Then they lost their most important round, the 14-14. Some are just pushing on through with an AWP, just YOLOing it. Like, I mean, this game has got everything at the moment. It's the classic Tyloo MVP match.
100%, and Tyloo, I mean, they worked pretty hard for that game. You have to say, they had a rock-solid CT side, which shouldn't have even got that close if Zion hadn't been making some huge plays from time to time. HSK as well had a pretty critical round that he got for MVP. Like, Tyloo, this should have been like a 10-plus round half from them on the CT side, but just some huge individual plays from MVP really get them through it. The same can be said for Tyloo's T side. I mean, they had pretty good money control for the majority of it, and they had some pretty stock standard rounds where they just got the catwalk control and worked through things. But sometimes when these rounds got a little bit hairy, it was definitely somebody making some key plays for them on the T side. That one round on the A side where he got rid of two pretty key players. And then as well, that last, like, that 14-14 round where both teams' money would have been broken. Stacks just sprays two people down. You'd think it's over. Tyloo, there's no way they're coming away with this one, right? And then Summer, the man with the AWP, just the last person you'd expect.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is like, that is the epitome of Summer for me. Like, he has mixed performances. I feel like he hasn't been a really consistent threat since the old Tyloo, or maybe like that Flash Gaming team where he was pretty much the star player on that roster.
Yeah.
But in this new iteration of Tyloo, this man has like one crazy highlight-worthy round, like every series it feels like. You look at that pistol ace that he had the last time Tyloo went overseas, and then that AWP play in that last map, and these critical rounds can sometimes push it over the line for Tyloo in really high-pressure scenarios.
Yeah, it's, I mean, those are the kinds of things that has actually given Tyloo the map win, though. 16-14. Again, it was so close to going the way of MVP that you do, in situations like that, just need one big play from an individual that's going to break your opponent's economy, give you that advantage, 15-14, and from there it became a little bit easier for them to close out.
Yep.
But look, I mean, such a close map, it like I said, it really could have gone either way, so it doesn't mean, now that we're headed on to Mirage, now that it's Tyloo's map, that this is a series over. You know, this is by no means a 2-0 straight up on the cards, could still go the full distance. Look, if it goes 2-0, I'm not going to be hugely surprised, but I think it is going to be a very close map again, and it's going to be a hard-fought victory for Tyloo, like what we saw on Dust 2.
Well, you say it's Tyloo's map pick, but it hasn't been Tyloo's map the last couple of times that they've played it. MVP's been winning themselves some Mirage over Tyloo. They have been close games. I think one was like a 19-17 win and one was like a 16-13. Like very, very close score lines that we're talking about. But this Mirage is a map that MVP definitely can play, and they've probably played Tyloo on it more than 10 times. Like the amount these two teams have played each other, you know, differing lineups at times, a couple of players here or there changing out and in for both rosters, but they've played like Tyloo on Mirage every series that they played against them. Like Tyloo just picks Mirage and MVP plays them on Mirage in every qualifier, in every group stage of every competition.
What's your general feeling about this match though? Because I think we go back to Dust 2, we look at MVP and say, okay, if Zion isn't going absolutely bananas on the first half, if HSK doesn't turn his form around in the second half, then Tyloo, just as a general rule, kind of as a team, looked a little bit better than MVP did.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think that this Tyloo roster has been a bit up and down, but this is a pretty decent looking Tyloo. Like, in terms of them being a little bit lackluster lately, this is a high performing Tyloo as of late. It's not peak Tyloo of what it could be, but it's high for what we've seen as of late, so that's good to see. Over on the side of MVP, I'd say looking a little bit shakier than we normally see them, so that's what enabled Tyloo to have that opportunity to take advantage of that in that last map and take away Dust 2, and maybe on Mirage, that shakiness, if it is still present, is exactly what Tyloo need to just win this map.
That said, I still think there's a bit left in the tank for MVP, which is really the key takeaway for me. Like, recently their form has been so good. Zeta has been an absolute machine. Obviously we know Zion, we know Zeph has been going absolutely massive for MVP lately, and was more of a non-factor there on Dust 2 than what he has been in the last couple of months for MVP. So, you know, we need to see what Zeta can do with York. We're probably looking at a CT side start for MVP here on Mirage, so that's a factor. Maybe the double AWP comes out here for HSK, who really started to get warmed up on the CT side of Dust 2 as well. So I definitely feel as though there are takeaways that MVP can kind of go into Mirage with here, and I'm still kind of on the hype train that this is by no means a shoe-in for Tyloo. You've got to think about the context of this matchup, though, in that this is the match that qualifies you for Occitane. Yep. Sure, there's matches tomorrow that, again, can, on paper, have an impact in this qualification, but this is the match. If you win this one, just like with their group in round one, you win this match, you win the group. And I think that's, again, the case here. I don't think Lucid or Alpha Red is going to be able to stand up to Tyloo or MVP, regardless of how they play today.
I would 100% agree with you. So that's going to put a lot of pressure on MVP, who've recently been getting the best of Tyloo. Maybe Tyloo are sick of it. They don't want to put up with it any longer. They've already taken their opponent's map pick, now heading on to their own map pick that MVP have taken away from them 2 times in recent memory. Mirage has been a mainstay between MVP and Tyloo, and how fitting that this would be the map that Tyloo could potentially take it away to make their way through to Occitane.
I think it does tell a big story, though, for MVP as to how far they've come as a roster to even be in a conversation like this in terms of challenging Tyloo, and the fact that we're 1-0 in a series going the way of Tyloo, saying, hey, look, MVP still has a chance to push this through to map 3. You look at this matchup 6 months ago even, and it would be Tyloo's going to win this one, probably 2-0. MVP, if they're on a good day, might be able to win a map like Inferno or something like that. But now MVP have made such strides as a roster to bring themselves almost into that argument with Tyloo. They're going to fall short once again. They've been there a few times, and they've never really been able to take that hold of best team in Asia. I think maybe for like about a month or so last year, there was a period where MVP, I'll say, looked better than Tyloo. Tyloo was going through a major slump, but it didn't last long enough for you to really be like, yeah, MVP actually was the best team.
I think MVP in recent memory have probably been a little bit better than Tyloo, but I think there's just always that international competition stage that MVP need to prove themselves at a little bit better, that they haven't reached the heights that Tyloo have. Fast one onto the A bomb site, it's a smoke over towards Connector, some flashes over the top, full retake here for MVP. They don't want to mess with this A take here. Tyloo, they're going to grab control of the jungle. Bomb plant goes down towards triple, out in the open. Zentet's actually copping a little bit of shots there, but Zeph's trying to shoot at him through a smoke, so he's not too worried.
Good control taken, though, by Tyloo. Some are going to be locking down the murder hole. Got a player in window there as well. Main is being covered off as well by Bentet.
5-man retake out of CT here. Wow. Stack starts it off.
Well, that is a shot that you want to be hitting. Xcurate doesn't have much more of an opportunity, and Zine gets both Xcurate and then somebody. But Bentet and Summer, well, from the other angle, are causing havoc for MVP right now. There's nothing that HSK is going to be able to do. It looks so good for MVP. And then all of a sudden, the crossfire finally comes into effect for the CT side. And that's round over. Tyloo start off again with another pistol round.
Trades back and forth, but then running into Bented in a post plant. Scary prospect indeed. Full save here from MVP. They want to buy up into the next one, which is a little bit more viable on Mirage than some other maps. Tyloo already off to a good start. Now starting to make their way out middle and looking to clean up this anti-eco fairly straightforwardly. Push in towards A main from MVP and a stack in towards this A side of the map that even if they do make some ground on Summer, chilling back at the stairs there in T-spawn, seeing if anybody's going to push that area.
That's pretty slow and steady from Tyloo here.
Good stuff from them. Just seeing if anyone's going to aggress on middle. When they don't, smoke onto connector, smoke into window, and they're going to do this cat split. So I'd say, in terms of the anti-ecos and how clean this has looked, this is about as good as you would want to expect from Tyloo. They look very organised. They look all on the same page. Even the smoke's going over to the B bomb site there.
And now a chance for somebody to score a bit of cash. He's got the UMP, so trying to get some kills to build that fund. It's going to be pretty nice indeed. Deciding not to push on in. It's Attacker with the MAC-10 that may well do the trick. Zeta and HSK have made it a little expensive for Tyloo. Nothing to get too concerned about, as the second Galil will be retrieved. So all the big guns go through.
A lot easier to recover from those kind of losses on the T side than the CT. So 2 guns lost on the T side versus 2 guns lost on the CT side is a lot less of a sad day. MVP, not a bad little buy that they've scrapped themselves together. Decent utility across the board. No AWP, but decent rifles. See what the play's going to be. Zion's going to be the man on the A-bomb side. Just tucks himself into Sandwich. Zeta and HSK there were just having a bit of a kiss in mid-window, and now they're going to say good luck onwards in this part of the round.
Now Kith.
Yep, now Kith. Tyloo, they have put a little bit of pressure on B apartments and middle, but now they've started to make their way back towards this A-bomb site rather. Zion's going to be the man to deal with, tucked into this Sandwich area along with Zeta, who's chilling there with 2 flashes that could be huge amounts of impact here for MVP if used correctly. You could line up Zion here for a huge multi-frag.
Well, speaking of utility, here comes the Tyloo smoke grenades. The Molotovs go on through as well. And Zion missed his smoke, but he's still going to manage to salvage it, getting the first kill onto Bented. He's done about as good as you can expect from him. Is it enough, though? As Tyloo start to storm their way onto the bomb site, they do deal with Zeta. They don't know that Stax is wrapping in on the rotator. Now it's on to somebody. 1v2. He's got his running shoes on. As you saying, bolting it over to B.
Before anyone says anything about the Molotov smoke interaction being broken, Zion very much did throw that smoke at a part of the ground that was not covered in fire.
Yeah.
Oh, timing missed there from Zeph. Somebody will see him cross back, and he's well aware of this player in towards market. So again, extra information here for somebody that he didn't even necessarily need, but he will get.
And what is going to happen here for Zeph? Well, I mean, somebody needs to plan. At least he's going to know someone is close. And doesn't actually plant the bomb. So either way, he was going to lose that round. Even if he does kill Zeph, there's no time to plan after that.
Pretty brave for Zeph to just charge him. That very easily could have been a fake. Now we will go straight into a tech. There's, somebody has disconnected, I believe. At least that's what it looks like. MVP, that's an expensive round, and looking at the circumstances at which it was won, you have to say it's a job well done. I mean, the trades were fairly even for Tyloo. They should have been in a favourable scenario over there towards the A site.
Oh, it was Stax wrapping in that was the nail in the coffin there.
It was a good flash from Zeph from Con as well. They didn't have much utility, but what util they did have on the side of MVP, they put to good use to set up their friends for good opportunities to be able to pick Tyloo.
Yeah. It does say tactical pause, but I'm pretty confident this is a technical pause. There was only 4 Ts hanging around in T-spawn, so they're friendless. There we go.
They have each other. 4 of them have each other.
They're lacking a friend.
Just missing Summer.
Life would be a little more disappointing without Summer, wouldn't it?
I don't agree with that, particularly in this country.
Okay.
I could do without Summer, to be honest. Don't love the like 30+ degree heat myself.
Guess you're not a bit of a beach bum then.
Not me. Have you seen me?
Yeah. I have actually, funnily enough. I'm sitting next to you right now.
Wow. There you go. Gone are the days of the bedroom casts.
Oh, God, don't take me back to that. I actually used to cast with no shirt on because it was so hot in summer and I was in my bedroom.
Oh, how have we been deprived of this?
But there was obviously no cameras going on at that time. Luckily for everyone. Oh, and there we go. We've got 5 players back in. We've got some crouching going on in T-Spawn. Looks like they're ready. They're just getting warmed up, doing some stretches. Unfortunately, not going to be stretching the bank account here for Tyloo. No money.
It's all a bruise. We're not getting straight back into it. Another pause comes out. Just as I was getting excited. Heart rate was starting to rise.
Because I started talking about myself without a shirt on, or because of the game?
Not sure.
Kappa pride.
Little of column A, little of column B.
You know what, this is my favourite part of Counter-Strike.
My favourite part of Asian CS.
Like late night, getting into a good game, bit of a pause.
Couple of memes.
Yeah.
But now we're straight back into the action.
Just get to chat a little bit.
And by the action, I mean it's going to be a eco for Tyloo.
Hey, that could still be action, by the way.
It will be action because every single gun that MVP loses is going to take a huge toll on their economy. They don't have any cash to fall back on. If Dust 2's anything to go by, they're going to be losing these guns for sure.
I told you, man. There could be action. Extra with a deagle. As soon as you see that, you're like, oh, hang on. Summer's also got himself one. And now we're quick up in mid as well. Zine might shut this down, but Bentet has also found Zeta. And will eventually fall to Zine. The deagle shot not calibrated onto Zeph's head.
I love the reaction for MVP as soon as they lose that pick in window. They just all charge towards middle and they're like, nah, we won't be having any of this.
Yeah.
Shut it down right now.
Excure's still alive and he does still have that deagle. He's making a beeline for the A site. And Zine's not quite there yet. Attacker's getting himself a good position here, but he can't pick up another gun. That's the problem. With only a Glock, there's no chance. Not against Zeph. And it's onto Excure, who will go down to Zine. Crisis averted.
I mean, 2 guns lost. Still pretty sad days for the CTs.
Yep, and that was the problem for MVP on Dust 2 as well.
It was. Couldn't get their economy stable enough on that CT side, and at critical points when Tyloo was able to come away with these plays, when the money was low for MVP, that was really what got them across the line. On multiple occasions, it got them 2 rounds instead of 1. The hard reset on MVP.
Holy moly.
Okay.
That is a quick round. Like, we're not even through the replays, and already 6 players are dead. Stax has got no HP, but he might still win this round for them. Bentet is now got a crossfire to deal with. Oh, come on.
Oh.
Stax has won it. What a absolute chaos round that was.
Yep. 2 alive for MVP. They're going to drop those guns over.
Pause time again.
She's going to keep their economy pretty low.
Welcome to the Elvish Guy and Pili podcast, gentlemen.
What would you like to talk about today?
Well, we've talked about the beach. We've talked about me with no shirt on. I mean, what more really is there to talk about at this point?
Tiny Teddies,
Tiny
perhaps?
Teddies. Your snack during the break.
Yeah. Cheekily, cleverly clutched a paintbrush and painted choc chip spots all over herself. That's the quote from the Tiny Teddy packet.
Okay. Anyone would think we're sponsored by Tiny Teddies. We're not.
I have a phone call to make.
Okay.
Arnott's. Hello?
Yeah. Hit us up. What kind of cookie would you be if you were a cookie? And you can't say choc chip because everyone says that.
Raisin.
Raisin? Anzac?
Bitterly disappointing.
Yeah. That would be pretty disappointing. A raisin cookie.
I don't know. Maybe like ginger spice or something because I'm ginger. What about you, Jordan?
Well, I'm partial to milk arrowroots, and I am a pretty white guy, so I feel like that might be the play.
Okay.
I think like when you get older, then you become a Scotch finger. Like when you're a young guy, you're a white young guy, you're a milk arrowroot.
If you're like one of those saucy old people, you're like a chocolate cup bottomed.
Yeah. Oh, what are those ones with like the red filling?
Red velvet, I don't know.
Yeah, that might be it. I don't know. That could be like if you're like a spicy dude. Don't know if I'm one of those. Anyway, we're back into the game, so that's spicy. Tyloo have got another deagle buy, so it's definitely dangerous.
MVP have another low amount of money, so they need to maintain as many guns.
It's not easy, although the bomb has gone flying into the middle of the bomb site.
They're in much less aggressive positions this time around and much better setup to deal with. So how do they still manage to lose the orb?
Well, if you throw enough bodies at the orb, eventually you're going to overwhelm it.
Only one loss though, so much better stuff for MVP. That's going to be their money starting to go in the upward direction, and that's the good direction. Let's see if Tyloo can go in the upward direction in the round count. They're going to get the AWP on X-Cure, but it's a glass cannon. So what their approach is going to be in this round. There's been a lot of emphasis towards middle so far from Tyloo and the A-bomb site. They haven't really put much pressure on the B apartments as somebody usually does on the T side of Mirage, which could potentially set them up with a opportunity to execute later in the round. You do see him doing it in this round in particular. Number 6 on the radar. Somebody's throwing the smoke on the B windows and some flashes towards there, which has kept these 2 MVP rotators in that part of the map. The rest of Tyloo, they're going for this mid control. Somebody's going to join them. Molotov on the bricks. Bentet's going to flash off that cat angle. Sign's got himself deep in the A ramp, which is going to mean that MVP should be very well aware at this point that Tyloo are heavily in mid. There can be nowhere else they can be.
Summer could still be the spanner in the works, as he was on Dust 2.
Look at this, MVP playing pretty heavily around that. Doubling up CT, the peek into connector is going to give Zeta a 1 frag. Nice tag onto attacker as well.
They do get HSK though, so it's at least a trade here for Tyloo. Now the difference is MVP with that player in towards T-Spawn and Zeta. It's a crisp shot with the USP. Zion also getting Summer. It's a 2v4. I mean, obviously still winnable for Tyloo if they hit some pretty fancy shots indeed, but unfortunately Fancy Summer is not alive. So it's on to Bentet and somebody. And somebody might have the chance there, but can't take advantage of it. Zeta will shut him down. Bentet, we've seen some crazy stuff from him in the past. The time is actually running out here for MVP, so this might well be winnable. Bentet, can he do it? Just needs the headshot onto Stacks. He gets off the bomb. They've got it just in time.
Oh, that's a clencher, but MVP, half a second to go. Zeta, he opens up the round and shuts the door as well. Multiple frags for the man playing retake on the A-bomb site from Ticket, and he just gets that last second defuse. But Bentet can never count this man out.
Well, at the very least, what Tyloo is doing is keeping MVP honest. That money is still really low, having won, what, 5 rounds in a row now?
Yep, and Tyloo with the bomb plant and the loss bonus together will buy into this one. So the pressure never really lets up for MVP, unless they can win one cleanly here. And again, pressure on the B apartments from somebody. This time just a couple of bullets, no utility expended. The rest of Tyloo grouping in towards this middle area.
Double AWP out for MVP now, though.
Where are these AWPs?
One's at
One's at
apartments,
Ticket.
one on A.
Yeah, one's at the B apartments. Haven't seen much of Stacks on the secondary AWP. He has been pretty fantastic for this MVP roster on it. Now, Tyloo again. They're getting this connector control very consistently. Feels like MVP, they're quite comfortable playing out the round when Tyloo have it.
Yeah.
They're just letting them have it. They're going to play around that.
Well, you saw how easily Zeta was able to open the round up for MVP, even despite the fact that Tyloo had connector control. And again, he's just watching that line. Smoke will fade, and Zeta misses a couple of shots, but HSK just playing in the corner on jungle. It's going to cause enough of a distraction that Zion, HSK, and Zeta all cleaning kills up for themselves. Another one from Stacks, and that is the round over.
That's
MVP
a clean round win.
Is CT side here on Mirage really starting to get going?
4 alive for MVP. Can't catch Zion off guard towards that A ramp or palace area. The man is so consistently getting those frags, and with how much pressure he's taking away from Zeta, because he's having so much success in that part of the map, Zeta can just freely peek from Ticket and Triple and shut down this connector control that Tyloo has gathered. And HSK, you do see him having a bit of a lackluster performance. Reason being is because Tyloo's putting so much pressure on the man. He is literally the lone person MVP's leaving in this middle area. Every time he's having multiple terrorists running at him, and all he has to do is just make sure he doesn't get picked, and he's relaying the information to his teammates and allowing someone like Zeta, who's in a key position with the AWP, to clean up.
Yep.
So job well done from the man.
Still not around here that MVP could really rest on their laurels. Their money's starting to look better, but it hasn't gotten to the point where you're like, okay, we can lose 2 or 3 kills. Still not be too concerned. Somebody is actually going to find HSK there, so that's 1 already. Now he has an AUG as well.
If there's anybody you don't want in a key position like jungle, who could undo everything, it's somebody, but he goes hyper aggro straight through the murder hole after he dodges that shot from Stacks.
Can you really be surprised? Excurate here has a great chance on Design, who has actually spotted him, so Jan's gone begging.
Well, on Bentet, one more Deagle headshot will make this a little bit more expensive for MVP, but all things considered, they're on a pretty good streak here.
He has a chance of actually getting one. Sign
hadn't
really had any idea where he was coming from and was checking out main. Now he's got an AUG. Can he even get a bomb down here, maybe? Or if he got that kill on the short, he certainly could have.
Zeph is posted up though. He's going to wag his finger disapprovingly. As the oldest player in the server, he's allowed to do that.
Yep.
Basically the closest thing to a CS
I love
dad
this.
that
He just,
MVP
like,
has.
slides out like, yo! And then Stacks is like, no thanks.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, it's like when someone rocks up at your door trying to sell you something.
No thanks,
hey man,
mate.
want to buy my art?
Get out of the murder hole. Get back in there.
Nope.
Get out of my door. Don't stick your foot in. Set up. Trying to get aggressive. Pick this player in Palace. Bentet's not having it. In other parts of the map, Stacks is actually getting a lot of B apartments control. Just going to give MVP a fair bit of info, I would say, Jordan.
Yeah, but still they have the 3 players on B, so if Tyloo strike now, it's actually a weakened defense on A.
Yeah, they're taking their time. Another smoke
Yeah.
on A main. I don't imagine Tyloo's going to be going too quickly. Smoke into the window from the A side of the map is going to keep MVP guessing because they didn't see the trajectory of that nade, so they can't make the call out. HSK is just going to say, hey, smoke in mid-window. Probably pressure on connector as Tyloo have been doing time and time again, but here comes that execute. Zion again in sandwich. Will he be mollied out of position?
Don't know. There's only a couple
Chaka's
of
got one.
Molotovs here for Tyloo.
Yep, there you go. Chaka's mollied him.
Indeed, Zion is burning alive. Goes down to that, but was helped out by Summer. Zion, though, not the problem for Tyloo. So the rest of the CT's on that bomb site. Somebody at least gets one more. But still a numbers disadvantage for Tyloo as they'll make their way back into T-spawn. It's a long rotate for them.
It's going to continue to try and apply pressure and find a key pick, which might set somebody up for the late round. Somebody decides not to go back to B, and Zeph would have been well ready for him in underpass. Instead, he's going to go back towards Palace Stacks. Definitely spotted Excurate there with the jump spot. He drops onto the bomb site.
Smoke's going to go down, which should allow the bomb plant out here. So, anything possible now for Tyloo.
Excurate's not the player you want to be facing in a post plant like this, but Zeph is on the flank. He could be the key for MVP here.
Still a fairly long rotate for him, though, so it's going to take him some time to get there, making a bit of noise now, and already the kill's coming across for somebody, but Excurate's got no idea. Zeph hasn't been loud enough, and that'll be a clean round in the end for MVP. 2 players alive. And the double AWP persists. Tyloo cannot get anything going here on Mirage.
Definitely can't. MVP has had their number on Mirage in the last couple of games, and again, it's looking fantastic for the Korean lads.
The Korean lads. Is that what they are now?
Yep. That's it. Everyone's a lad. Not many females in the Counter-Strikings.
Yeah.
Tactical pause. Tyloo is saying, hello, we need to get rounds on the board. Things are not going well.
Yeah, okay.
2
Look
rounds
at yourselves in the mirror, guys.
Play better. Alright.
It's still not unsalvageable, right?
Yeah.
First half, we're what 8-2 now, which
I think
is,
they need 5 though.
Yeah, you want to get to 5. You probably want to get to 6, really, from a position like this to be pretty happy with the first half on the T side. But that's definitely a bit of a task at this point for Tyloo.
Ends. Middle control. Straight into things. Not towards the B bomb site.
HSK just slams attacker.
Eventually he swam through that top mid smoke enough times. He will get somebody at some point.
Well, he got attacker, not somebody.
Haha. Good joke. Haven't heard that one before.
Whoa.
4 on 5 from
Someone's
Tyloo.
mayonnaise got memed on.
Listen, Dad, I'm sick of you, okay? Gonna be passive-aggressive now. I'm over it. I want Tyloo to get some rounds. I'm going through a tough time.
Yeah, Tyloo is.
Well, still potential here in this 4 on 5. Plenty of heavy hitters alive for Tyloo. Smoke in towards the window will help these players get up under fast and potentially even boost into the window area. And Summer is going to combine with Execute over here towards A, while Tyloo smoke into window and connector. And let's see what they make of it. Two of them walk into con now. It's going to be an A split. Zion's got to have success over here towards A ramp to allow Zeta to continue to wreak havoc on this connector area. The rest of MVP is miles away, all stacked towards B.
Timing is going to be key here for Execute. If he does get Zion, it really opens it up. Bentet has dropped, but there's still another player coming from connector. Tyloo with 28 seconds need to make something happen. They probably do get the bomb down here. Oh, I lied. Zeph's spotted out. Execute. Time starting to run out now with 17 seconds. Summer and somebody are just trying to make anything happen, but Zeph, how did he even spot that bomb plant? I thought he was being covered off by the guy in connector, but apparently not. And another one up on the board for MVP. So I was saying the Magic 9-6 is what Tyloo really wants to get at. They have money to buy in this round.
And again, just this connector play, and A is just not an option. Zion, he does his job. He doesn't even get a kill there, but he does his job because he just creates enough space for Zeta to get a frag and fall away into CT, and they have the man advantage at that point after HSK gets the first kill in the round. And from that retake situation, I mean, you talk about Zeph, who hasn't got many kills, but almost every single one of those kills are Zeph going from catwalk and just shooting people on the cross in the late round at A.
Yep.
They're critical frags. There it is.
Look, again, not much you can do about that.
But Tyloo, what they can do is, let's face it, it's been the same approach the whole half.
Yeah.
Mid control, connector, and A, and they're getting shut down, and they're refusing to adapt.
Haven't seen much toward B from Tyloo.
No. And usually that's a mainstay for them. Usually somebody's applying pressure with the utility in that part of the map, and then they go and execute B. Haven't seen it once. And MVP's been ready for it a lot of the time, but even just Zion and Zeta on A is enough to win them the round. And again, it's going to be Zion and Zeta on A up against this execute. Let's see if Tyloo have learnt something different that's going to allow them to do a little bit better this time. They are just waiting out the utility, but no, they're not going to wait for this smoke in Palace.
Well, here we go again. Bit of a sense of deja vu. It's like that CJ meme. And I think maybe we're going to see the same result. Tyloo, a 1-for-1 on the entry. This is starting to actually look a bit better. Summer's gotten another.
Difference here is that Zion doesn't create enough space that time. They get very close to Zeta and trade him out, and now it's a man advantage for Tyloo. They put the bomb down.
Lie. Not a man advantage anymore. Stacks getting Summer. Bomb at least goes down. So there is that for Tyloo, but if they don't win here, I'm really starting to question how Mirage is going to end up, and Tyloo, I'm sure, will be doing much the same. Stacks and Zeph with an opportunity. Oh, that looked damn close. Zeph. Oh,
whoa,
Stacks.
What? MVP, they are super warmed up into Mirage.
Just hitting everything.
They looked a little bit sloppy on Dust too, okay? Yeah. They weren't really warmed into it. Hasn't been the case on Mirage. These guys are straight back into the swing of things. And it looks bloody scary.
Yeah.
And you have to say, okay, in a series like this, MVP's been winning recently, right? You look at the last map where, let's face it, MVP, that was a sloppy performance, right? And even after that sloppy performance, Tyloo only barely scraped a win together over the line, and now you're looking at a 10-2 scoreline. This looks like MVP are in complete control of this series.
Got another tactical pause, Pilly. And the little perler of wisdom I've been given by production is that all three of these tactical pauses in the last 3 rounds have been from Tyloo. So they're talking about something. But what they're talking about is not winning them rounds.
I mean, I got to say it again. That round was the best opportunity that they had, because the difference was, right? They kill Zion very early on, and they get close enough to Zeta on that triple box and trade him out quickly, and they still can't win the round. The retake's still too strong there. So now, again, it's the same thing from Tyloo. Back into this 1-3-1. Some pressure on with utility on the apartments from somebody, and he's going to walk back down towards underpass from Bentet. Again, early smokes in the round towards middle. Now smoke into the window, and they're going to go back towards connector. This time, though, that's the difference. Zion takes a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
Goes and walks through Tig Spawn and gets punished for it by Excurate. It's a quicker move back towards that A-bomb site, and it was always going to be so from Tyloo, even if they didn't have that man advantage. So now it's HSK on this A-bomb site. Zeta's nowhere near. He's trying to rotate up towards Ticket as Tyloo's getting in prime position to make their way onto this A site. So HSK's got to be the difference maker from this firebox or ninja position.
But you've got to convert this one as Tyloo, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to. Zeta and HSK do open up. Zeta under pressure here. Finally gets spammed through that box enough to actually fall. So maybe I speak too soon. Maybe it's not over just yet, but Stax may well be the one to finish it off. That's a good shot. Player with the bomb. And the Summer looking in the other direction. Gets caught. Somebody's got 8 HP. How can you not convert this round, Tyloo, if you're going to win this map? If you have a chance, they needed to.
He actually dinked Zeph, I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure there was at least one headshot in that, but when you're shooting through the wood and the cement material, just not enough damage to finish off Zeph, and all Zeph had to do was just react and connect one shot, and that's exactly what he does, and I 100% agree with you there, Jordan. Huge advantage coming away with that one. For MVP, despite Tyloo picking up Zion. Sorry, had a bit of a brain blank there. Tyloo had a huge advantage, but they couldn't get the round still. Now they're going to try to go back towards B for the first time.
It's too late now, though. Even if you win these 2 rounds, 11-4 the first half on Mirage. It's not unprecedented, but
no, this is looking pretty good.
Somebody has started off nicely, but Stax, like, how does he even get 2 there? I'm so confused.
He's a god. He's 15 for 3 right now. He's dancing around in the smoke.
Oh, his head's peeking up. Attacker doesn't see it, though. Hasn't been playing enough whack-a-mole. And he also gets Excurate. Stax might even be on for the ace here. He's going to pick up another org. Why not? HSK will steal it from him, but damn, what a play from Stax. 12-2.
That man's on fire right now. 17 and 3. He's not even at the bomb site where Tyloo's been attacking.
Yeah.
The man's like the B anchor. He's rotating and closing out every post plant towards A.
Yeah.
Tyloo's literally been towards mid and A every single round, and Stax is 17 for 3 as the B anchor.
That's actually huge.
Please explain.
I would love to go back and just watch his game POV.
I would love to hear all the players who cry about being the anchor players at B and Mirage. Oh, I can't rotate in and get any kills. That's why my score's bad. Look at Stax, mate.
That's the shot fired at Ian. Probably not watching, but I'm going to tell him about that.
Alright, execute on the A bomb side, but it's just a fake to create space for these B players to take advantage of the rotations. Zeph is going to bite, makes his way back through market, but look, mate, still got to beat Stax. Still a 1-on-2 on the bomb site for Stax.
Well, he's seen the player crossing. Now knows that there's danger
on
its way. Somebody survives on 2 HP. But we've seen MVP be able to convert rounds that have been a player deficit for them. Once again, we're back to a 4v4. Somebody really is hanging on for dear life, so I'm not so sure you can count him as a whole player alive. And Zeph opens it up. HSK, a little bit scary for him there, but he does finish it off. And attacker's position now is known, so he'll be spammed through the smoke. And it's just onto Bentet with the Deagle. He can't even get an angle onto the bomb defuse. That is going to be the round over. And MVP going to finish it off 13-2. Sure, he gets the collateral, but Billy, it doesn't matter.
The least impactful double headshot Deagle we've ever seen, and MVP just too solid on those retakes. Rock solid on the CT side of Mirage. 12-3 for them.
All right, time for us to take a quick break, guys, but this is definitely a different looking situation than what we were heading into halftime on Dust. So we'll see how it turns out after this.
Butcher, what are you doing? I love you. Thank you so much.
Whoa, Jess, what the frickety frick? Whoa! Whoa!
The whole gifting subs thing, that is magical.
You thought we were getting into the second half of that game? Well, you're wrong. You get to watch us for a little bit. Bad luck. Maybe good luck. I don't know. Depends on what you think of our beautiful appearances. But, okay, right. What we want to talk about, obviously, is that game. And MVP, they've totally turned it around from Dust 2. It was a very close game there on Dust 2. And now it's like, what, 13-2 in the first half or 12-3? Who cares? It doesn't really matter at that point, I don't think.
Numbers, whatever, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
As long as one of them gets to 16, whatever.
That's right. And who cares up until that point? MVP's like... I mean, the takeaway is MVP's just smashing Tyloo here on Mirage, which is it's Tyloo's map pick. Okay, yes, we go back historically. MVP recently have beaten Tyloo a couple times on it, but like not like this.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
Clearly.
It's a kind of a situation where it's like two of the same things in two different contexts, I feel like, for Tyloo. Number one, they just consistently kept going to connector and kept going out A when they're getting shut down time and time again. And the same sort of stubborn logic is the map veto, right? You've lost Mirage. Okay, the first time you lost Mirage, you go, all right, that's the map we always pick. Whatever, we'll get them next time. Oh, we lost Mirage again. Oh, okay, so this third time, should we pick Mirage? Of course we pick Mirage. Now we're getting absolutely crushed on it. It's like, when will you sort of not
time.
be so stubborn? Next time we'll get them at A and connector, I promise. Oh, we got shut down by Zeta again. All right, next time, let's do it again. Run that one again. Run Mirage again.
Let's go B. Oh, wait, Stax is there. Forgot about him.
Well, that's a that's a hard one.
Yeah, you got to think about like when I look at MVP, right? Every single time they've actually made a roster change, I've always been like, oh, I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I don't know about this Stax guy.
And then all of a sudden, they're like literally the best player on the team, probably the best player in Korea at that time.
Should just literally be a montage of be like, Stax, who the hell is that? And then you just see him acing Tyloo like every round. He's the rotating in for B, just cleaning them all up on the A-pom side. It's like, oh, okay, Zeph, isn't that guy like 30 years old? And you just see a highlight reel of Zeph on train in SL just killing everyone, and you're like, seems good.
It was the same thing when like Zion came into the roster. I was like, who's Zion? And then Zion literally is just hard carrying
Who's
MVP.
Zion? Then he just like, when MVP wasn't even as good as they are now, and they played Tyloo, and he gets like 100 kills in a best of 3, while the rest of his team is like anchoring, and you're like,
yeah,
seems good.
1.83 to 1.83. Well, that is the swing. I guess that's about as close as 50-50 as you're going to get. And to be honest, we're probably at that point, right? I mean, right now, it's going to be MVP to finish off map 2. I think that much is fair to say. And then we're on to map 3.
Which is Train, which Tyloo actually won over MVP, but I have to say...
How do you recover from this?
Tyloo, well, number one, okay, they're getting spanked in this map. There's opportunity for them to recover, but then Train, okay, you beat them MVP on it before, but MVP's got a lot more reps on Train. Tyloo's played Train like 4 times or something like that, or maybe not even 4 times. MVP plays Train all the time, mate. Sometimes they even pick it.
Fair enough.
They're going to be a lot more comfortable on a map like that, despite the fact that they did lose it. Regardless, still a whole other half of Counter-Strike to be played before we even get to that point. MVP just storming up.
It was
catwalk.
13-2. You said it was 12-3.
Forget about it. Look,
I remember.
Round.
You threw me under the bus, but I was right. Now it's your turn to get under the bus. Hope you get run over.
Joke's on you. I took the bus here. I grew up in the bus. I don't know. What's that Bane quote? Regardless, MVP are down a man.
You were molded.
It's molded fire.
I don't know if I want to talk about mold and public buses, but look at this. Somebody's like, okay, well, Zion's in mid-window.
Bigger fish to fry, or whatever you say.
If he dies to Zion
I
here,
feel like he saw Zion in window and then forgot about him. And then, oh,
hang on.
Crap.
Could be still
He's still there.
Alright, that's worked out okay though for Tyloo, but Summer does actually go down on A, and
now,
MVP are going to be able to get a bomb down.
No one here for Tyloo. They're scrambling to get in position. Did Summer have a kit? I think he... Maybe? Maybe not. Oh, Tyloo, they don't have a kit. Oh, there it is. It's on the ground.
Well, some shots need to be hit by MVP here if it's going to be even a close enough situation for the kit to matter. Zeta, he's got the P250. All it takes is 3 shots. There's 1, 2. And all we need now is 1 more. Bentet's on his own.
Look at him go.
Doesn't have the kit actually in his possession, and Zeta is just chilling. He has actually called the bluff. Bentet's made noise. Zeta's backing away into Palace. Knows that he's got the... Oh! Zeta gets the ace.
4K from Zeta.
No, it's 5. It's 5.
5. Oh my god. He's amazing for MVP right now. The AWPing from Ticket and Triple when those A executes were coming in, the man's just hitting every shot, and then ace in the pistol round when they're at a disadvantage. That round was a mess. There were memes, there were big plays, but at the end of the day, 14-2 for MVP. Tyloo's going to try and force buy here. They're not going to have a clean buy unless they pull off some absolute BS with these pistols and scouts and SMGs.
I can't
Not just in this round, but in rounds following that as well.
Honestly, I don't want it to happen. I want to go on to Train. Like, let's just get this map over and done with. Tyloo, you're not coming back from a 2-14. I'm just saying it. Saying it straight
Maybe
out.
they can start to build up some momentum. Start hitting their shots a bit more. Then heading into Train.
Look, that is definitely a fair point. You don't want to go in like at a 16-2 into the final map in the series. But
you have to even say, like, MVP, right? They barely lost that last map. They should have won it. Oh my god, 1 for 1. Should be right.
Still pretty good for MVP. Only the 1 player actually on the bomb site right now, although the rotation does come across quickly from Xcure, but how much of an impact is he going to have now that Zeph in particular is close, jumping around with a MAC-10, almost gets the 180, and it stacks in a 1v2. If he gets Summer here, the next player's low, but he does actually fall to Summer.
Could have been very doable for Stacks. Put Summer on literally 1 HP, and somebody was on 10.
This is a replay of the pistol. This was so crisp from Zeta. Not enough to win them the map, which you traditionally would have thought that it was. It's force buy from MVP though. Scout out for Stacks. Could be dangerous.
Force straight back into it on the side of MVP.
Yeah.
Deagle's armor, Scout, MAC-10. These are weapons. They're not good weapons.
Oh, well.
But they're weapons. Yeah, Tyloo, very passive. Don't want to be taking any chances at this point. Don't want to be losing any guns. CT economy is very fickle. Very slow pace stuff. No peaks coming out from Tyloo. VP, they have a bit of mid control, but that's about it. Flash into Con, sets up attacker to pick Zine. There's the man advantage for Tyloo. Very low risk play, does bear fruit. Stacks even cops a nade from Bentet. Another flash into middle for Tyloo to check out what's going on.
Oh, hang on. Steph gets the kill with a Mac 10. Obviously costs him a lot of HP, but we are back to the 4v4. All it takes is another nice shot from MVP. They've got the numbers advantage, and then from there, where do we go? But nice shot from Excurate. Gets his counterpart, the scout-on-scout action. It'll go the way of the CT side, but HSK has got an M4 here. Going to walk into the crosshair of attacker. The round quite easily cleaned up by Tyloo in the end. And MVP are going to have to save this time.
So, more room to work with from Tyloo. Pretty nice shot from Excurate and pretty clean closing out of that round. Good patience from Tyloo. They're just taking their time, working their way back into this game. We want to see a nice clean round from the lads, closing this round in particular out so that they can not have a horrendous economy on the comeback. That could happen. Look, Mirage is a map that Tyloo have played since literally the beginning of time.
Yeah, look, I mean, I said
and
it's not going to...
CT is where they get their work done, Jordan.
Yeah, that's true. I said it wasn't going to. It could still.
Can't forget that.
Yeah.
And somebody, look, this is not the first time you're going to see this man push through B apartments. He's a psychopath.
It's going to have to be a comeback of epic proportions, though.
Yeah.
It's like... You know what? I'm not going to say that because it's going to spoil endgame for someone, and I'm sure someone is going to get mad.
Look at somebody. He runs all the way through B apartments and comes back to A and just is up on stairs now, ready for MVP to come out A. I love him. Yeah. Look at him go.
So 9 to go to equalize. Long
I'm
road ahead.
I'm going to run a count, Jordan.
Okay.
I'm running a somebody pushing B apartments count.
Okay.
That's one.
Fair enough.
How many? What's your bet? What's your prediction? How many times
5.
is he pushing B apartments?
I'm saying 5.
5?
Well, the thing is, like, I guess it depends on how long this map goes. If we get up to like 15-15 or something, then I think...
Let's say if they complete the comeback, how many times?
I'm saying 5. If they can complete the comeback, it's going to be 5.
I'm going to say like 10.
Okay, so every round.
Yes. It hasn't been every round. I don't mean from that point. That's already one. I'm saying 9 more times.
9 more times. Well, that still is pretty much every round.
Okay. Maybe that's a bit too much. I'm going to say 7 in total.
Yeah, see, now I've pulled you back.
Should have held me to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Slow pace for MVP. Emphasis on middle. They're going to take their time. Excurate, he's ready. He's waiting. As soon as MVP show a little bit of a shoulder in towards connector, he'll shoot them, but smoke onto top con, he won't get the opportunity to line up a shot there. He's going to throw his Molotov into the bottom of con. Slow them down from taking that part of the map. So instead, Steph goes into window, and the rest of MVP, they're going to take control of ladder and potentially back to B, I'm thinking.
Bentet has seen HSK. The jig might be up. Zeta, though, does get Excurate.
Excurate, who was the AWPer, actually. Zeph, he hasn't ever been discovered in window.
But look at this. Somebody does make the play. Pushes straight up onto short, and Zeph doesn't actually land the jump. All of a sudden, it's fallen away for MVP. They had it on a silver platter. And he might just get a couple more. There is 1 and 2. Bang, bang.
4K from somebody.
2 headshots.
And you have to say, since Excurate took the reins as IGL of this Tyloo squad, like Blair was saying a lot, Bentet's looked like the best player. I think that somebody's been crazy, mate. Particularly in this stage of the Pro League, I feel like every map he's been popping off.
Well, the thing is, like, any of these players for Tyloo on their day can be the best player in the roster.
But somebody's been the best player.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Somebody's the best, in general. Best player in the world.
Bit of a stretch. I mean, I guess to be fair, somebody is the best player. But it may not be this somebody.
There you go. It's not a lie.
It is not. Zine almost makes it interesting if he gets 2 there. But Attacker is going to keep it alive. 7's up for Tyloo. The slow march continues. How long does it last, though? MVP have got the max losers round bonus now.
Yep. They are indeed the losers in some sense of the word, but they are winning overall. Due to losing so much, they will get a lot of money. It's not usually how it works in life, but whatever. We'll let it slide this time around. The key point to talk about is that I don't think MVP's had full utility in any of these T rounds yet. They've had decent utility for the most part, but now, already at this 14-7 scoreline begins what is going to be MVP being able to run literally any tactic that they want because they have so much money and having many times to make mistakes like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get away with that against Xcurate.
That's some pretty big man advantages for Tyloo. It doesn't really feel like they've been tested yet on this CT side.
No. Nice grenade through. Attacker, if he spams that smoke, he probably gets there, but not aware of it. Still, you want to see Tyloo. I was going to say, you want to see Tyloo just making sure that they clean this round up pretty comfortably. And that is probably what's going to happen. Have you been keeping count?
2.
I think you're probably not quite on track for the 7. Running out of rounds, mate.
I don't know. Tyloo, they're looking pretty convincing, Jordan.
And what I'm saying is if they make the comeback, that's still only like, 9 rounds at this point.
And what's scarier is that some people might say, surely you can't push B apartments and win every round that you do it. So far, so good for somebody.
Think I can't push B every round and win?
Watch this.
Watch this.
Oh, man. You reckon somebody, like, you've been to China, right?
Yes.
The traffic's scary, right? There?
Yes.
In some parts?
Oh,
Do you reckon
well, yeah.
somebody's that guy that just walks across the road and holds his hand out?
I don't think you do that in China. Like,
Somehow it works.
It's not
like
Indonesia.
all the cars just swerve around him.
No. My experience with Chinese traffic was in a bus, and we were like literally the epitome of FU, I'm a bus. We were just doing U-turns on a highway. Like, I'm not kidding, man.
Somebody is the bus.
And everyone had to stop because we were a bus.
We were a bus.
Yeah.
And together we were strong.
I was a bus.
I was part of the bus. Well, Tyloo were a mode of transport. They would be a train because they're on the comeback right now.
Yeah, okay. I like that one.
But MVP throwing a bit of a spanner in the works. They're going to quickly come towards this palace area. Straight out. Summer's ready. 1-for-1 so far.
Attacker's like, come on, guys. Oh, 1-for-1 for him as well. He probably needed more there. This might be the round that actually flips it for MVP.
This is the first time Tyloo have been really tested on this T side. MVP, great timing. Already set up in the post plant. Good positions for them.
Oh, and somebody half a second too late to get the player fading away into main. He's gotten up on top of Ticket.
Where's Pentet at? He's still at B.
He's chilling at B. He's trying to bait again. Wait, what is he doing? Scared perhaps someone is in the murder hole, but he's really wasting a lot of time here. Bentet does have the smoke for the bomb, so if somebody can sit on it, maybe. I don't see how else they can win this round from here. Somebody's going to get one, but the timing is just not here for Tyloo. They're hitting some shots. Get the smoke down. Where is the smoke? They won the round, MVP. Where did the smoke go?
Where was Bentet? Where was Bentet that entire time?
I don't know, like he stopped on the rotate. It seems strange. Well, 15's up for MVP, whatever the case. It was looking so good for Tyloo until it wasn't.
Maybe Bentet doesn't know the Chinese word for A.
Yeah.
Alright, there's the first for MVP. Tyloo's still with plenty of money, straight into the double AWP setup, and MVP going to do the same thing again. Worked last time. This time Attacker's posted up from stairs. He's going to rip Zion a new one and drop the Molotov as well. So Tyloo, they've learnt from their mistake in the last round, and they've gotten on top of it. Unfortunately, they only have one more opportunity to make another mistake, and they need to win 7 rounds in a row. This should be
quick math.
This should be the first of 7.
Yeah, so just taking a quick look back at the last round on the replay, Pilly, and the smoke went to default. So it was like on the other side of the box.
Right. So it was miscommunication about where the bomb was planted.
I think so. Which has been a problem throughout this series.
Which has been a big big talking point between some players
Pundits.
on Tyloo. Yeah, pundits.
Yeah, let's say pundits.
Commentators.
We've got nothing better to talk about, do we?
No, not really. We don't lead very interesting lives.
MVP running down the clock quite significantly in this round.
Went some utility over towards B, which has kept Tyloo honest in a 2-1-2 setup. It's going to be Attacker and Summer to hold this site down. Summer doesn't have any utility to help Attacker out. Attacker's the only one with flashes here, so unless Excurrent makes a move over towards jungle.
Oh, that's pretty sharp from Attacker. Can't get the second though. With 13 seconds, I think it's going to be difficult to get a bomb down here for MVP. Someone's just going to spam through the smoke, and Excurrent, somebody, the players with the AWPs, will do the dirty work. Bomb does actually get planted for MVP, but it was a very difficult round to win for them. So we're up to 9 for Tyloo. At the very least, they've salvaged the situation, right? It's not like we go into map 3 with MVP having just oodles of momentum.
MVP don't have the best of cash right now. They can get AKs and armor on all their players. Tactical pause?
Yeah. What kind of tic-tacs are we getting out of this round?
I would probably say the budget variety. So I don't think MVP should buy into this one, but they may.
Well,
over on the side of Tyloo, somebody's got an AWP, so that B apps push counter is going further in your favor, Jordan, I would say. He was just sitting on the B bomb site last round, not doing anything. I'm a little sad.
Yeah. Starting to run out of time. 6 rounds to get, for your case, 5 more B apps pushes, because you said 7, he's had 2. For me, I need 3 out of 6. I think that's more doable.
Last one out the Palace again.
Well, that's what worked for MVP in the last couple of rounds, or 2 rounds ago it was. Attacker has already started off with 1 and actually commits to the fight as well to get the second. Means Summer doesn't have to do a whole lot of work. Oh, the flashbang. Very nicely avoided by Summer. He'll win the round by denying the bomb plant. That's clean from Tyloo. Win the round by denying the bomb plant. Wasn't denied, but he does get the player planting the bomb.
Bomb plant plus loss bonus equals okay money. Not enough for an AWP, but enough for AK's utility. But we are seeing that these low utility, very quick plays from MVP are getting heavily shut down by Tyloo.
It's another tack pause.
Yeah.
I got to assume like all the tack pauses at this point are MVPs, because I'm pretty sure Tyloo used all of their tack pauses in the first half. And I'm told that's correct. So any tack pause we see from here on out is MVP. There's 1 left for them. But you just think about that. We are, how many rounds in now? 25?
We'll be the 26th.
Yeah, and so we've had 7 tack pauses already. That is a lot.
Yes. Keen to see what MVP is going to do here. I haven't really seen them go for much mid-control so far, and when they have, Tyloo hasn't really contested them until the mid-round, where Attacker or somebody else has done a good job picking them in the mid-round.
Well, they've just been going A over and over again. It's kind of like watching Tyloo's T-side. A bit of a change up now from MVP. Zeph quickly under the window. And as you say, no real contest from Tyloo on middle just yet.
Yeah, they're just going to use the flashes to peek in the mid-round. And somebody, I don't think, what's the ruling here? I don't think that constitutes a push just yet.
No, he
but
has to
maybe when he makes it past the doorway in the middle.
Yeah.
Are we calling that a push?
I'd say so.
Doorway, archway in the middle. Second he steps foot in there, that's another point on the board.
Once he's actually in apartments. Yeah.
What happens if he pushes 6 times?
We both win. We both get some tiny teddies.
All right, smoke on jungle, MVP straight up con.
Oh, that's not a good aim duel to lose. And Summer is being spammed out at ticket booth right now, trying to dodge around the bullets. He does get Zeph. If he spammed through the smoke there, he might have actually cleaned 2 up, but Bomb's gone down. 4v4 for the retake.
This is still in con here, and he gets the first frag on Bentet. Still in a key position.
Somebody should be able to get him, though. And we're back to a 3v3, but time's starting to run out. Smoke down on the bomb. Is it deep enough for Summer here? Looks like it probably is, but he's having difficulty finding the bomb. Xcurit's doing some work with this orb. I tell you what, he might just win the round for him, and he has, if they can find the bomb, which they eventually do.
There eventually. 11th on the board for Tyloo. MVP again. Bomb plant down and 4.5k.
Yeah.
And this is the difference of the new money system, man. If in the old money system they would have had 5+k, they would have had stacks of cash. But now you're only limited to a certain amount.
Stacks of cash.
When you get that full loss bonus, you can't get the full util. It's just not possible. You buy AK and armor, it's 3.7. You only have 800 left. You got to choose whether you want to go for like smoke flash or smoke molly or molly flash. You got to choose which pieces of utility you want to commit to.
Yep.
And you have to go glass cannon on the orb or you can't afford it. It's an interesting dynamic. I'm keen to see how that sort of develops going forward.
Maybe we'll get to see a bit more of it in this matchup if we get to a map 3.
You go. Make flash, no mollies at all for MVP, which means flushing some of these Tyloo players out of position. Using something like a Molotov on Connector is not going to be an option. Using a Molotov on Van to clear out a position like that, you can't. You don't have it. You're just going to have to hard clear it. It's actually a huge factor. Molotovs in this game are extremely strong. Pete, smoke onto the top of Con as well as window, and they're going to try to make their way out unders. Xcurit has, I believe, jump spotted these players. Lining up the A split on the side of MVP. Mid-round boost onto Bentet.
I don't know if he spotted Zeph going into connector there.
I don't think so. Hacker's tucked in towards fire blocks, I believe. Sada's been boosted up. Stacks actually picks Bentet on the bricks. So good job from the man checking things out. Xcurit now find an angle, but he's missed his opportunity. And Zeph, look where he is.
There's still 2 players on this bomb site that MVP have to deal with. Summer has been having a difficult time. And Ticket and he'll drop as well. So too does Attacker. Xcurit, the hero of the last round, is going to have to do it again with the AWP. Somebody is rotating through main. He's also got an AWP. So a double AWP retake, 4v2. Surely not possible for Tyloo. Xcurit opens one. Does he spot the player at firebox? Well, it doesn't matter because there's another guy in CT spawn. And somebody's on his own, 1v3. It's impossible. Surely it's impossible. He's got to smoke for the bomb. If he gets firebox, maybe he smokes the bomb, sits the defuse, gets lucky, the flashbang goes through. Can this actually happen for Tyloo? It looks like it might. He's kept it alive.
No
They've won another
way.
round. I don't believe it. It's cost them a lot, but they've got the money. They've got the money, Pilly, to buy back into the round. And MVP, that's a chance gone begging. We're at 12-5.
Gonna be kicking
How have they gone and done that? A 2v4 retake, double
Why
AWP.
is he even full spraying in that scenario? Why doesn't he just tap in different parts of the smoke? Maybe he assumed, yeah. He could have just tapped. You don't have to full auto that one, but in pressured games like this, you're not thinking about that.
Tyloo are hanging on by the skin of their teeth. MVP this time, faster out A. Utility comes across Summer. Does let a chance go. Begging HSK will open up the round. 3 rounds in a row, MVP have started off with the opening frag, but Summer this time will equalize and go one better. Xcurit catches Zine pushing through the smoke. Starting to think this is actually doable now for Tyloo. MVP have given them too much leeway, too many opportunities. 2v3 though for MVP. Still 1:12 in the round. Possible for them.
Definitely, but Orcs holding angles when you don't have any utility, unless these are going to be some good flashes to be setting each other up on the side of MVP. There's one of them. Xcurit's blind. This is the opportunity for Zeta.
Won't quite take advantage of it. It's a 1-for-1 at the very least, which HSK can't take advantage of in the 1v2. 13-15. Well, I said it was impossible, Pilly. I'm starting to believe. Tyloo can do this. Money's weird for MVP now.
That's all right. Zeta, he's going to throw the Galil actually over onto Stacks. Surprising.
Yeah.
Considering Zeta still will have to glass cannon if he wants an AWP. I think that's what he was going for, so he will glass cannon actually. That's going to be the difference. What's the strat from MVP? 2 more opportunities to be able to actually get themselves around here. Smoke over middle. And lots of players over here towards B this time for MVP. Zeta looking for anyone getting a bit aggressive in middle there. Throws the flash out. But won't be able to take any control. He goes through it. Excra just kills him for free. The only time he's ever had an AWP this entire Mirage T-half. It's man advantage for Tyloo. MVP, they're going to try to make their way towards the B apartments. Zeph's going to try and make something happen from underpass, but it's not looking good for them.
If this goes to overtime, surely it's got to be Tyloo to finish it off.
I don't know, man. Their T-side was pretty abysmal, but MVP, they're in the running for worst T-side in this map.
Okay. Into the B side. It's been something that MVP have not done too often. It's a fair bit of utility, but somebody, he starts off well. 1 player down, it's Zine. Dentet can't do too much from short. It doesn't really matter, though. Excurate gets a collateral with the AWP. And only Stacks left with his Galil. Don't see it happening, Killy. 26 seconds. He's got an AK now, at least. Oh, dear. Close to being a chance there for him, but Tyloo making life really difficult here for him. Bomb plant does go down. The push is going to come out here from Tyloo. They'll encroach in on his position. He needs to open it up early, but won't. And now we're at 14-15. 1 more round for Tyloo to put it into the overtime. I can't even believe we're here. It's just an absolute table turn from the first half to the second. MVP just didn't miss a shot, and now Tyloo are doing the exact same thing.
2 unbelievable CT sides and 2 absolutely abysmal T sides. Now is the last opportunity for MVP to keep themselves in this series. This should have been a freebie for them, and they're going to try and make it happen. They have had 2 rounds where they've had pretty good success on this A bomb site, and they're going to try and make it happen again. Attacker on top of balcony. Summer's going to be backing him up. Retake from that CT position.
Well, Summer has been struggling. They're not going to check. Attacker gets 2. And that might be enough to win the map for Tyloo. If they put this into the overtime, they've got the momentum. 3v2. It's still not over yet. MVP, the bomb is dropped in probably the worst possible position ever.
It is, but this is the first time Zed has had an AWP and been able to do something with it.
Somebody is playing shotgun AWP right next to that bomb. Oh, what is he doing? He pushes the smoke and he actually gets Zeta.
Flank is coming out from Bentet. Some are very well aware that that's going to be a possibility and that his presence is known in CT, so he's going to reposition in towards jungle. Zine seems to have read this. The closer he gets, the more advantageous this round win will be for Tyloo. It's going to be extremely hard for Zine to read that he's going to come in from Palace, and he still hasn't recovered to the bomb.
Well, Zine is the kind of player that can win a round like this, but not if he's caught in the back by Bentet. We're into overtime. Can you believe it? 13-2 the first half.
Clip Jordan Mays saying it will never happen.
I cannot.
And how are you feeling about your somebody pushing B-App's record now, Jordan, huh?
Well, I'm still close to the
We're adding some rounds onto it now.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been pushing very much, though.
No.
It's been rotating to A.
It's ludicrous that we've gotten to this position.
MVP.
And correct me if I'm wrong, where MVP won the second half pistol. It's a long time ago, I can't remember.
Perhaps. Been a bit of a cooker today. I have got a bit of a tension headache because this Counter-Strike's so intense.
Hang on, I'm going back to the faithful HLTV to check.
HLTV, the Church of Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Some people say the Cathedral of Counter-Strike is a place.
Yeah, MVP did win the pistol round.
Okay. Then Tyloo won the Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, obviously.
Oh, man.
You're up 13-2.
13-2. 14-2.
You win the pistol round.
14-2.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, we've won the map. Surely. Nah. See you, mate. Tyloo just happened. Going overtime. That's right. I'm questioning everything right now.
MVP, what is going through your mind at this point? Okay, you've come up against 2 situations. On Dust 2, you should have won it.
Get me out of here.
And
That's
then
probably
Summer just pulls that round out of his, I don't know where from.
Yep.
And then this game, 14-2 lead.
Yep.
You've thrown it away. How do you mentally recover from that?
I don't know if you do. Like, not tonight.
They're taking quite a while. It's good. They need a breather. Oh my god.
But, you know, this is the kind of game that Tyloo and MVP do tend to deliver. Always high stakes. Big plays out on both sides. It's one of the best matches that you get to see within the Asian domestic circuit. And we're seeing another iteration of that tonight. Whatever way this goes, if it's a 2-0 or if we do go through to the third, I think you have to be happy with the Counter-Strike that we've been able to watch tonight. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, an epic game filled with big plays.
Where are we going? Is it Tyloo 2-0?
MVP, you have to say that, I don't know if this is 10 or 16k overtime, but...
16.
16?
Yeah, everything's 16.
Not everything.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is 16.
Well, in that case, maybe there's a case to be made that MVP, with that new round loss bonus, they didn't have full utility a lot of those T rounds. They didn't have the AWP setup.
Yeah.
He only had it like twice. One time he just ran out mid and got killed. The second time he was like one of the last left alive and he had to drop it for an AK.
Well, here we go. MVP was only able to manage 2 on their T side, but so was Tyloo.
Somebody pushed underpass. Did we count that?
I don't know if that's the apps push, to be honest. Oh, accurate. That's close.
All right, well, man advantage for MVP, something that they only got a couple of times, and those were some of the most competitive looking rounds.
But they weren't able to convert them.
Well, they didn't have the utility in the late round when they weren't converting them, to be fair. They used all of it to get the advantage or to get into advanced positions. Bentet, though.
I mean, if he doesn't get 2 here, and he probably loses the round there. Tyloo going to get the incendiary down. Excurate's on his own. He's got a P250 in hand and also no head. So this is going to be the T-side round that MVP really needs.
Yeah,
I just think getting 1.
Look at all the utility they're using. They would have never had this utility in regulation. They just didn't have it. They used all of it to get the map control in the first place. So now having that second wave of util to actually take the bomb side afterwards.
Well, Summer and Attacker are going to give this one a crack. A team flash goes across, which will slow things down. Stacks is pretty low but behind bench. But even if they do get him, there's just so many players to actually find. And he hasn't been checked, so he's going to be cleaned up. And Attacker will be finished off quickly as well. Bit of an anticlimax in the round. 3 through for MVP, but I think imperative now for Tyloo to get these next 2.
Is that already a higher success rate? That's an equal success rate in OT than they had in the entirety of regulation in the first round.
Well, I mean, you would argue it's actually higher because in theory they've got 33% of the rounds that they can.
Yeah.
Which they did not get anywhere near doing in regulation.
I agree. It's a good point being made. Now MVP fast smokes over middle. Excurate jumps very quickly in towards ladder with the AWP, trying to find a potential opening here.
Oh, Bentet, you didn't got in your hand. Excurate's helped him out. Timing has not been a friend of Bentet so far.
HSK jumps straight in window and actually finds Excurate with his pants down. He's going to go in towards... Oh, what is this round? MVP, what are you doing?
Keeping Tyloo in with a chance. That, I think, is what is happening. Attacker is bunkering down in firebox.
He's chilling.
What is that?
Players in jungle and connector, and HSK picks Bentet in towards ladder. Attacker now finding the angle on these jungle players. There's both of them. He's locked it down.
Yeah. Stacks is still alive, though. Not for long. God, that was a round, wasn't it?
1 for 1. And MVP, what was that chaos? It was like the complete opposite of the previous round. The last round, they got the advantage and then just very structured, like, okay, now we will execute B with the correct Molotovs and smokes. And then next round, it was just like, yeah, that was all of my brain cells used after that long overtime that I lost. And now I will resort to jump through window, through smokes, and run through that short.
Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Yep.
No better word than that. Accurate, just unpeaks. Unscopes at the wrong time, I should say. I think every single round here is just so critical for both sides.
1-3-1 setup here from Tyloo.
Hanging on. Skin of their teeth, both teams. At least Tyloo have the map to play with. Bentet's got a good angle here. Oh, again, the timing. But he does get it this time.
Ooh,
and a lot of damage onto HSK. Does he know? Well, he's going to know in a second. Finish it off with that HE.
MVP. Down a man. They do have some control of middle, but they need to somehow convert that into a round with Bentet rotating into the murder hole and minding the window boost, as well as attacker very strongly posted onto the top of connector. Things are getting difficult. Somebody, do it. Do it. A little bit further. Come on. Into the doorway, please. No.
I don't know if anyone's going to take that out of context. That sounded a bit strange. Zeta has actually spotted somebody, but he backs across onto the site. Needs to actually back a little bit more. Zion's found one, stacks another. Somebody with the re-peek into apartments, and all of a sudden Tyloo have a player disadvantage. The round was looking so good for them. And now it's MVPs to win.
Straight back in towards this A side of the map. And Summer, if he can make it into CT on the right timing and actually stop this bomb from going down, this could still be a Tyloo round.
He might just do that. Timing's looking good for him. First shot is great, and not quite the second. 5 seconds is there. It's onto Bentet, the 1v2 clutch, to put Tyloo into the second half of overtime with the numbers advantage. Across into CT spawn as well. And this looks almost impossible for Bentet. We've seen him do
for this man.
Very crazy things before. Setup doesn't let it happen. 17 for MVP. 2 rounds.
2 rounds on T.
That's what they got in regulation time in 15. Now they've done it in 3.
And one of them was the pistol, which you have to say, instead of just shooting 5 people in the head, is that a convincing round win? I don't think that.
Yeah.
Wasn't a gun round, that's for sure. They could have even won that last round, so, I mean,
Now the onus is on Tyloo.
Tyloo, they had a very, very bad T side in regulation. They got 13-2'd. It was not good. Bad, bad, not good. And with their MVP, how good they looked on their CT side, you'd have to probably be backing them into this OT. But Tyloo had a lot of time, a lot of thonking time to come up with a solution for what went wrong on their T side. Had a lot of time to reflect. So let's see what the...
Do they hit B? Do they try to take some mid control?
Crazy.
Or do they just default back toward A?
Connector. New strategy I invented of going A, but then sometimes going B.
Never heard of it. Quite long pauses between the halves here and in between the regulation time and the overtime. So you're right, it does give the teams a lot of time to think. Or just keep practicing their aim.
Did MVP have a team house? I'm really hoping that Termi is just getting the chair slaps in there.
Oh, yeah?
Every round.
I don't know, actually.
If anyone's going to have a team house in CS, it's going to be MVP.
Yeah.
Like MVP as an org probably already have a team house.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In like any other game.
Multiple games.
Yeah.
Probably. Regardless, question for another time. Probably should ask one of them on Twitter, because they actually do use Twitter.
Okay.
These days. Tyloo. It's the A-bomb site. They're going to give it a crack. Zion and Zeta are going to be the players
again
in position to deal with it.
How many times we saw this from Tyloo, and how many times we saw it not really working out for them. Pulling it out in some of the most important rounds of Mirage. Slowed down by the incendiaries.
Molly hasn't gone on to Balk onto Zion, so he's allowed to just sit there. Zeta's at triple as well. Oh no, this is going terribly for Tyloo.
Yeah, it's falling apart right now on the T side. Bomb is stuck out in the site. They have to commit, but Zeta is just lining them up. HSK helping out as well. Round's over, and that was not convincing in the slightest from Tyloo.
they're going A on the first gun round to give MVP match point when they've been shut down there every single time. Tyloo throw the execute in. The Molotov doesn't make it under balcony, which means Zion could just sit there. And you look at it, MVP, they threw the Molotov on A ramp, which slowed Tyloo down. And then when Tyloo tried to come out A ramp, they just run into Zeta with the AWP at triple and like a million counter flashes coming out. They can't even push out A ramp and they're just losing players right and left. What do you do?
Well, here's a change up from Tyloo as they establish themselves in mid. A bit of presence toward B there as well.
Somebody throwing utility in that part of the map, and the rotation maybe pulled from HSK. He's feeling a little bit fidgety. Doesn't want to be losing at this point. But if I'm going to be relying on anyone to hold down that B-bomb site, I think Stax is a pretty good bet. Somebody's actually got the bomb on his back. And he's sitting in the smoke. Like, if he just gets sprayed down, that's the bomb lost. Tyloo with 2 players on cut. Maybe potentially thinking about turning this into a B push. First, they're going to smoke the top of connector and potentially set one of their players up in that part of the map. Following in the window. Does very much look like they're winding up a B split here as Summer makes his way over.
X-Spirit wants to boost.
Been teared up, that's right. So they have control of connector. They have a player ready to jump into window and 1 player in ladder room.
Well, Benton just gets the timing wrong. I think he got caught on the jump there. Well, Tyloo, 44 seconds. What are you going to do? Attacker opens up nicely, but Stax is the man on this B bomb site that has been such a thorn in the side of Tyloo. This time he'll drop. Bomb goes down in a pretty bad position, though. HSK could well cover it off, but Summer just pushing on forward. Will retrieve. Gets across, planning safe.
Bentet's still in middle, though, and he could punish Zion. But Zion's seen him here. Oh, excellent work. Finds the angle from Catwalk. That makes this retake so much more doable, but X-Spirit at the pillar.
Doesn't know that Zion is pushing behind him right now. He's not even looking. The flashbangs come through. Now he turns around. Now this is the shot that might win the game. Well, the round at least for MVP. Summer 1v2 being pushed on both sides, and that'll be it. MVP are going to push us through to a 3rd map. It took a lot longer than it should have. I will say that. They were up
from
14-2.
They win it. What was that? 19-16.
Yeah.
That's huge. And not only that, like the just mental fortitude that it takes to come back from a massive comeback from Tyloo.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It's time for us to take a break. I think the players definitely are going to need a break after that one. We'll be back with some post-map analysis and then map number 3 as soon as this break is over.
Champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?
Are you ready to be a part of Counter-Strike history?
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
Think he can't clutch through a smoke while recording in full resolution and streaming the play to the world? Watch this. Think he can't get famous in a flash? Like become your own meme famous? Watch this. Think he's been there, done that? With Intel Core i7, he's just getting started. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Bon spectacle.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
This is Game Fuel. It's domination in a can. Tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
What are you doing? I love you. Thank you so much.
Whoa, James, what the frickety frick? Whoa! Whoa!
The whole gifting subs thing, that is magical.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Occitanie, Betway, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and PaySafeCard.
Normally, I like to have something funny or witty to say going out of the break, and I like to think I'm pretty good at that, but that last map has left me a little bit speechless, purely. I don't know what to say. I mean, 14-2, MVP, they got the piss around in the second half. You're like, great. They're in for a quick one here. It's going to push us on to train. No, we go to overtime. Now we're here. It's 1 AM in the morning. We've still got one more map to play. What on earth just happened?
Don't worry, this is prime time for me, Jordan. I'm taking the reins in
You're
on
ready.
this one. Heading into train, I mean, I guess I should probably talk about Mirage a little bit first.
Okay.
I don't know who had the worst T side. It's pretty debatable, to be honest. Both teams had really good CT sides, though, so maybe it was more of a case of, not entirely playing terribly across the board, but your opponent's playing really, really well on their CT side. Definitely a little bit to be desired for. I have to say, though, that across this series in particular, both teams have had better CT sides than their T sides. Maybe MVP a little bit more successful on their T side across the board, but on Dust 2 than Tyloo were. But, it's pretty debatable. So heading into a map like Train, which is a map that's probably the most CT-sided in the pool.
Yeah.
I'd say it definitely is the most CT-sided in the pool. It's going to be a battle of CT sides once again, I feel like. The same as that last map and the previous map was before, which even for a map like Dust 2 shouldn't be the case.
Which obviously leads to the fact that the knife round then is fairly important as well.
Oh, for sure.
Half, you want to be starting on that CT side. If you want to get to Occitane, this is the match to win. Like, okay, again, just to put it out there, it isn't technically the match that's going to be the make or break. After today, there is still a possibility that anyone
Gets you
can
like
go
90% of the way there.
But you're basically there. Tyloo or MVP are the only two teams, in my opinion. It's a two-horse race out of this four-team group. So win this, you're probably going to Occitane. For MVP, that would mark their second global qualifier that they've actually beaten Tyloo in recent times. Tyloo didn't come to IEM Sydney. They lost to Vici. MVP was at IEM Sydney. There was all this kind of stuff going on that, unfortunately for Tyloo, they've been missing out on, and MVP's been putting in those kind of hard yards that could work.
You'd have to agree with that. I would also agree with that. So heading onto a map like Train, which is the difference maker between who's going to make it to another one of these global finals. Only one slot for this region in particular, and it's going to be MVP or Tyloo most likely. I'd say 99% sure of that one. So Train is going to be a big decider. And look back at the recent history. Okay, 2 talking points. Last time these two teams played on Train, Tyloo won it. Even though they didn't win the series overall, they won Train. Okay. Second talking point. MVP's played Train at least twice more in recent times than Tyloo have, and sometimes they even pick it, whereas Tyloo, it's a bit further down in their map pool, and it's not always a go-to for them. So 2 talking points would be Tyloo's beaten MVP on it, but, huge but in this case, MVP has played it a lot more and are probably a lot more comfortable on it overall than Tyloo are in terms of officials. You can't count in the practice, you can't count in other stuff because we don't have that data, but just in terms of the officials, MVP's got more reps on it, and I feel like watching MVP play, they're a little bit more of a convincing side, in my opinion, on Train.
Yeah, I don't know if that necessarily matters. We can go into all that analysis, we can look at what's happened in the past, and we did that before this match started. And then we were up 14-2 on Mirage. Hey, past history would tell you, if you're up 14-2, you're probably going to win that map in regulation time. But this series has literally had it all. I mean, again, I want to just go back and say, this is classic Tyloo and MVP. In matchups, they always go the distance. It's always a backwards and forwards game.
Hey, you'd probably say that when you're in a 5-on-5 on Dust 2 and your B player gets 2 kills and you're in a 5-on-3, you'd probably get to win that round and win the game, but nope.
I mean, you just look at this and from both sides and think, like, how close this was to being a 2-0 either way.
Yeah.
Like, if MVP wins that round on Dust 2, where Stax gets the double, they probably 2-0 at this point.
Yep.
Or if Tyloo, once they get into the overtime, actually do something in the overtime, like how they had to win like 15 rounds in a row pretty much to get to overtime.
Yeah. They win all the CT rounds in a row, and then when they get to overtime, like they win one unconvincing round and get beaten the other 2 rounds, and it's like, okay.
All right. In a way, though, I am glad we've gotten to a third map. I think a 2-0 is a bit of an injustice in a series like this.
This series, I I mean, the last time it was a 2-0 in the grand final of the Cologne qualifier. Tyloo took Train, and I think that's it. I'm going to triple check that because I'm harping on that a lot, and I want to make sure I'm 100% right. I'm like 99% sure. We'll talk about the pistol before we get into that too much.
MVP's got the knife.
Yep. The MVP's got the knife. So they're going to get in the comfortable side nice and early on. And Tyloo, they've had some pretty bad T sides tonight. This is going to be a T side where, look, I'm not even going to set the bar that high, Tyloo. Get me 4 rounds. 4. That's it. That means pistol is huge for them. If that'll get them half the rounds they need already.
Maybe even more.
Maybe even more, that's right. So Tyloo heading over towards this B-bomb site. No smoke, actually. Bentet's got a molly. They're going to do the head boost. That's going to be the molly onto CT Con where Zine is standing, so the rotators won't be able to come in. Going to be the jump throw. They can line it up, and then the flashes. There it is. No rotators going to be allowed in here today, and Zine's going to have to play by himself until help can arrive.
Yeah, just backs away. Actually, a nice shot, though, onto Summer, who continued to push forward. Spotted the player next to Oil Train. And MVP have gone for the full retake. Here comes the rotation across once that Molotov has faded. And MVP, what is Zeph doing? He's just pushed on forward, been such a distraction that Zion gets an easy shot into the side of attacker's head. And it's all Bentet left alive. He might be able to still win this round. Can't connect the shots on the player in the smoke. Pulls out the knife, but it's not going to matter. Zena finishes it off. 1-0. MVP start off nicely here in the pistol. So, you talked about the pistol for Tyloo. It's not an option now. It's going to have to be 4 very hard-fought rounds this time.
The train match that Tyloo actually won wasn't in the grand final. It was in the upper bracket final.
Okay.
And that was the map that they took in that best of 3. And they lost Mirage and Inferno. Okay. So that's the only time I feel like Tyloo and MVP have played it on it in recent memory. Force Spike comes out after MVP do grab that pistol. Decent strategy being displayed there for Tyloo, but this is definitely a winnable round. Bentet, AK and armor. Attacker, AK and armor. And even the other lads. I mean, Excurate and Summer no slacks with the Deagle. Somebody can definitely make that CZ work, so this is a dangerous bite. Talk about a key player on the CT side for MVP PK. The 2 people I'd be looking at is Zeph in this SL area and Zion holding the Inner's bomb site by himself until rotation from Zeta can come out. Those are going to be really key guys to watch because they're in very critical positions. Zeph can maintain control of that SL and a huge important portion of the map on Train, and Zion holding down Inners by himself while everybody else works that outer bomb site. Tyloo, they're winding up this Ivy split here, but they haven't cleared Zeph out of SL just yet.
Yeah, there's so many players here for MVP to lock the bomb site down that it's going to be very tough for Tyloo to make inroads here. Stax has already started it off nicely. Zeph, the spray down doesn't favor him too well, but there's still just too many players here. Like, look at how many threats that Tyloo have to deal with to get into the bomb site. Sure, they've got a bit of damage out there. The AKs go over into the hands of MVP. Well, an AUG was picked up for Stax. Nonetheless, 2 pretty good guns. The FAMAS comes through as well for MVP. You can't be disappointed with that round.
And if you're wondering why is there 4 players for MVP on that outside bomb site, it's because Zion is at lower ramp. We saw him spotting earlier. The OB switched over to him. He hasn't seen anybody even touch that inner bomb site. Why is there? There's no reason for a CT to rotate in towards inner until anyone puts pressure or emphasis on that part of the map. There's no reason for Zeta to rotate through CT con, so he's going to chill right where he is. And Tyloo, they're going to have to deal with all those players. Ooh, nice nade there from Zeph. And we actually saw MVP the last time they were playing this map.
I love it.
Yeah, Zeph is actually nuts in SL. This is probably his best position on any map. In general on Train, this guy is crazy.
Spots the bomb as well, obviously falling all the way down SL. No, my favorite thing about the SL fights is like when you get the headshot through the feet. It's like, come on, how did that happen?
Yeah, you can't walk, you can't think. At least you can wave your arms as you ragdoll down into SL.
Yep, okay. Pretty grim, but all right.
Basically become a wacky inflatable tomb, man.
This is about the dream start for MVP, though, on this CT side of Train. You've had, you've won the pistol, obviously. You've dealt with the Force Spy pretty aptly. The anti-eco, 5 guns alive for MVP, so they've really secured a pretty decent economy already. And a few kills going on to Zeph there as well with the SMG. So here we go, into another gun round for Tyloo. This time a better buy round, of course. for both sides. Zeta has upgraded to the AWP, which has put him down fairly low in the money department. Zion has spotted a few toward B. We'll have to throw down the incendiary early.
Here's an interesting point from the last train game these two teams played. Actually, we'll look at this inners play first from Tyloo. It's coming out pretty quickly here.
Yeah, flashbang through there, but it's Zeta to peak regardless. He'll get the opener. Zion, interesting from him, pushing aggressively, does get Bentet. Attacker turns around for the frag, and now it's on to Zeta alongside the players coming in from Z Connector. Stacks gets the guy on the site. Bomb is still planted though, so Tyloo always in with a chance, but Zeph might just shut that one down. If he gets the timing right here, which he does, Summer has been spotted as well. Someone has to get on the bomb fairly shortly though. Smoke is there, and Summer, is there a way that he can still win this round? If he peeks around and hits that head, well, never mind that.
I got a question for you, Jordan.
Okay.
How many rounds do you think Tyloo have gotten on the T side of their other two maps?
In this series?
Combined.
Well, it was 2 on Mirage. Train was... Dust, I should say. Sorry, yeah. Dust. 5 or 6? So I'm going to say like 8.
Last time they played MVP on Train, Tyloo got 9 rounds on T side.
Okay.
And they closed out the game on the T side.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. That's better than they've done on their other 2 maps on the T side so far.
What did they actually get in these other 2 maps?
I don't know. I'm just asking you what you think it was.
Okay.
It wasn't very many, right? They didn't have great T sides.
Yeah, it would have been like less than 10.
But when they beat MVP on this map, they had a lot of T rounds on the board. They had a good T side.
Yeah, so what you're saying is the T side here actually for Tyloo is pretty important.
I'd say it was, because the first half was pretty back and forth. It was like an 8-7 half when Tyloo were on their CT side and MVP were on their T side, which is what you'd say is a pretty good T side for MVP, right?
Yeah.
7 rounds on Train.
Yep.
That's great.
That is great. It's not a good start, though, for Tyloo.
No.
So if they want to get to that 8 mark, which they got last time.
9. Even 9 on the T side.
Regardless, I mean, this is not the way that you go about it, is it?
Not yet, but still plenty of time to get straight back into things. They need to start to strike soon, though. Another nade stack through those windows, which is something we've seen from MVP before. Pressure onto the brown halls, gets the rotation in from Zeta to help out Zion towards inner. Tyloo. What's the play, lads? Bit of pressure on the extremities of the map. Now, surely should start to think about where they're going to head towards in the late round. Looks like a shift towards inner, potentially. Somebody in Bentet making their way towards their attackers, join them in the halls.
Nice timing on the smoke, though.
Smoke over outers towards the sea, towards Ivy, it looks like. Yeah, it's bounced into Ivy. But until they clear Zeph out of SL, they can't really fake inner and go back to outer. It is going to be a commitment to the inner bomb site. So Zeta and Zion are going to be the 2 men to hold, and they don't have any utility to do so. So they've got to be hitting their shots here.
On the dynamic duo from the A site defense on Mirage, they did it time and time again there. See if they can do it here on B site Train. Zion playing around the bomb is going to be spotted from the player on upper, and that's nicely done from somebody just on top of the oil train. He cleans up Stacks as well. It's a much better entry to the site. Tyloo 4v2. But Zeph might have something to say about this. Around the back, there's some low HP players there for Tyloo. HSK gets another Excurate drops as well. And now we're into a 1v2. Zeph tapping the bomb. Attacker, where does he go from here? Making a bit of noise now, and Zeph knows where he is. Takes the peek. The trade, it's there.
The molly on the
bomb? No, it's not. It's not.
It's not going to last long enough anyway.
Well.
Nah, HSK's got this.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for the man. Wow. After somebody got those 2 frags, I thought this round was over, Jordan. But MVP, man, on these retakes, these CT retakes tonight, these guys are on fire.
Yeah, the thing is, though, MVP are continually having to reinvest. So money is still going to stay low.
It is. And Tyloo's built up quite a bit of loss bonus on top of the bomb plant. But as we've seen from MVP on Mirage, that loss bonus isn't necessarily going to be enough. I mean, at this point it will be, because they had a bit of money left over in the bank, and they got the bomb plant down.
Man, you got to think as somebody, like, what more do I have to do to win a round?
Oh, man.
This might not be the one, though, for them. Zeph, again, you highlighted him playing from SL.
untouchable, man. Tyloo, they just look how scared they are of it, and they don't want to go anywhere near SL. They're going to try and flash him out this time, and it does actually hit him.
Well, he's done a lot of damage to Attacker there as well, but Bentet and Attacker open things up. Still, it's, again, still a winnable round for MVP. These players on Tyloo, one of them's very low. Attacker goes down as well. Stacks is going to have to be the linchpin here because Zion's been spotted. But the bomb hasn't been spotted.
Stacks is going to wrap around the back.
Or planted, I should say. Zion and Stacks joining each other.
Somebody's walked through cons, so they're going to go towards B here. Somebody does have a smoke for the late round as well. I don't know where he's necessarily going to throw it, but it's going to be a pretty hard round for MVP to be winning.
Well, you would have said the 2v4 last round is going to be a hard round for them to win as well.
True. Now starting to work it out and connect the dots now, though. Bomb goes down. They didn't hear that bomb plant.
Yeah, but they've still got a fair bit of time here. Defuse kits on both. A lot of utility for Zion.
Somebody's gone walkabout into CT. He's going to let them out connector.
Oh, is he?
Walks back in time.
They've not checked it properly enough. Stacks does get the trade, though. But he still has to find Summer, and there are so many angles here. And the bomb planted very, very open. If he sticks it, does he actually get this? No, Summer peeks. I wondered if Summer was going to let him get that. But Tyloo do finish off the round. One player alive, though. Look at the money for Tyloo.
Look at the money for MVP, mate. You were talking about it before.
I mean, it's not great on either side, is it?
No.
But I actually don't mind this from MVP.
Stacks is going to buy an ult for Zeta.
Yeah, I think this is the right play. These rounds have been so close. If MVP pulls this off, the half is theirs for the taking. If they lose it, it's like, well, you know what? You're probably ecoing anyway, so...
I almost feel like it's not even if MVP pull this off, right?
Like when?
The amount these guys scrape together these like really lackluster buys where somebody has like an SMG and someone's got a pistol and it's like they win it. They do it all the time, mate.
I'm very, very keen to see what happens in this round.
The two players that went really ham for MVP when they played Tyloo on train last time was Zion and Zeta. Very far ahead of everybody else. I would usually be putting the emphasis on Zeph, but it looks like Zeta had a really good game on the AWP, and Zion had a great game on the T side and towards inner. Zion had like 110 ADR and pushed him over the top in a pretty... Oh, sorry. Tyloo won it in a close game. But those two lads were going pretty ham.
Well, Zeta's in a good spot here to actually make an impact early, which is how you win a round like this. The molly will go through. So he knows there's someone there. Flashbang now, but is he going to take the repeat? That's the question. Decides to just back away from the line. Pretty tense times here for Tyloo. You lose this round and there is big problems ahead. Stacks opening up. 2, in fact, for him, but it's a 2-for-2 trade.
There's the push in the mid-round, but Bentet seems to be ready for it. That's a key one to be winning. Shuts down Zion. No information gained for MVP, and he's going to go take in his HSK in position. Doesn't quite make the most of it.
He's only got a CZ. You can only hope for so much, and it does allow Bentet to cross. HSK can't actually calibrate the aim eventually. And Zeta just going to save the AWP. It really almost lined up there for MVP. 1 or 2 of those aim duels, and they would have won that game. That round.
Here's another key talking point as well. Just going back to the last match's stats on train between MVP and Tyloo. You talk about Zeta, who had a really good game, and you know, one of these interesting stats that you get from HLTV is first kills and clutches won.
Yeah.
First kills in a game that MVP lost 16-13 to Tyloo was actually 20-9 in favor of MVP when Zeta had a good game. So it's like, I feel like this man probably went pretty ham with the AWP, and the entries are going well for them on the T side. But the clutches one was in favor of Tyloo. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tyloo goes versus MVP in the late round. Are they going to continue to win those clutches that looks like put them over the top in that last game, which was very close? And is Zeta going to have another good game and get a lot of these entries, get a lot of these openings?
Well, it has been the mid to late rounds, actually, in the last 2 that Tyloo has found their impact from.
Yeah.
The early fights have gone kind of even.
And even in that round before, it felt like in that mid to late round, somebody did a lot of good work, and then MVP sort of somehow miraculously came away from that round. Tyloo should even have more than 2, I feel like, at this point.
Zeta's still got the AWP here, but oh, gee, that was sharp from somebody.
The man's 5 and 6, but the kills that you're seeing him get are like huge impact kills, and
Stax wants the AWP. He's not going to be able to get it easily. There's somebody all over it, and he decides the AWP is mine now. It's going to be another recontest here for MVP to try and retrieve the weapon. Somebody backing away. Does hear the push out from those two CTs, and well, he suffers his own life for it, but end of the day, not a big deal for Tyloo. Finally starting to get that economy rolling, assuming they get out of this round with 4 guns. It's looking better for them now. Tyloo making inroads on the T side.
Here's the problem for MVP. Economy's not stable enough to afford them an AWP if they want one.
If they force.
Not really a force, it's like pretty good buy, but it's just not good enough to get an AWP. But on train, can be pretty annoying. Actually, Stax is going to glass cannon one. He was the only one who could afford.
Yeah, you kind of get the sense that like he actually would back himself. He's 8-1-4.
He's the Ivy player as well, so not a terrible position for it to be taken into. Somebody looked like he was about to just go straight down lower ramp and get in there, but decides against it. Lots of emphasis on towards Ivy here from Tyloo. So they're going to start to make their way over there, which indicates that Ben10 and somebody are probably going to try and put pressure on Zeph and pick him in towards SL while the rest of Tyloo do split through Ivy here. Stax posted up on the angle. Zeph puts out the Molotov that was expended towards SL. How does Stax miss that?
And he re-peeks straight into Execura, who's definitely not going to miss it. That could have changed the round, but it won't. Maybe Zion still can, but he can't quite connect onto the head of Summer, which is what he really needed there. So Zeta on his own. The investment from MVP hasn't worked out this time.
Tyloo, I mean, they could have even had more T rounds than this one if that retake hadn't come in.
Yeah.
And MVP got off to that 5-0 start. They could be even in a better position. So the other maps, it doesn't even make sense really. Like, even maps like Dust 2, Tyloo doesn't look that convincing on the T side. Then Mirage, another map that sometimes can be T-sided, they don't look that impressive. What's the T side that you'd never be winning if your T sides are generally weak? The least T-sided map in the pool, and they look like they're just cruising. They're so impressive. And at the moment, I mean, MVP, they're not getting those first kills, those openings on the AWP, whether it's Stax or Zeta. They're not really making the most of it.
No. The AWPs aren't having the impact for MVP here on the CT side. And we talk about that all the time when we talk about trades, so I have to go for another eco here as MVP. Zeta still retaining, I should say, the AUG from last round. But it seems unlikely that MVP is going to find much success here. The flashbangs do go through and they're good. How has that happened? 2 for 1. Zion gets another, so 3 for 3 overall. How is Zion there? And what
run up
is
SL.
that round?
They've run up. So I'll tell you what that round was, okay?
That's like they're playing Mario Kart.
So here's what happened, all right?
All right.
The clean entries, when they run up lower ramp, you see Zeta and HSK get these kills, and not all of Tyloo was there right at the start, but as soon as that push comes in, the other players, after those first couple Tyloo players fall, who could have been watching SL, go towards lower because they've lost players. They've got to go trade those kills, and as soon as those kills are so clean at the start from MVP, and that rotation gets pulled, that allows Zion to come up SL. He just goes straight up there and he comes in from the flank. Here comes that boy. That's a huge opportunity that MVP, they looked hopeless in this game so far. It felt like Tyloo are in a fantastic position, and that's a huge break that's been given to MVP because their economy wasn't so good. But now they do have the utility. They have all the rifles. Zeta's got the AWP. This is an opportunity that shouldn't be afforded to them, and Tyloo's given it to them. So they better make the most of it, because Tyloo's looking scary on this T side. Now their money's starting to get a little bit lower. This is MVP's opportunity. This is not just a 7th round. This could even be an 8th round. This could be back in safe territory on the CT side.
It's very important for MVP. I mean, you already talked about this for Tyloo. If you get to 4 on the T side, that might be enough.
My opinion's changed a little bit now that I saw how the last game sort of panned out. It seems like Tyloo's actually got a pretty strong T side on train.
Oh, yeah. But even to the point of how strong their CT sides have been tonight, 4 rounds on the T side feels like kind of a pass score in a way, right? You can make that argument.
Yep. Tyloo, they haven't flushed F out of SL this round in particular. Fancy's going to try and walk out Ivy, but Stax seems ready for it. The rest of Tyloo... Oh my god, what a shot from Fancy. That might pull the rotation. Zion starts to walk back. He's caught in no man's land. Zed is left alone on the site.
Oh, he's got so many... What? Oh, I just don't know what to say. He hits that onto attacker as well. God damn. This game, every single time I watch it, MVP and Tyloo, you just can't get excited enough for it.
It's a double flank coming in. Looks like Summer's looking for that player towards CT Con, but he hasn't come yet. Attacker's alone on the bomb site with 15 HP, the jump up.
Oh, well, no trade available there. He just drops straight back down. Great shot from Attacker. Tyloo, they're straight back into it. 5 rounds on the T side and MVP. The money is just cooked.
Massive speed bump avoided there by Tyloo, because their money would have been cooked if they lost that round. And Zeta, imagine if that shot just connects with the chest instead of the leg. That's the round there for MVP, a round that they shouldn't have even had in the first place. But anyway, MVP, they don't get it. Despite how close it comes down, they do not get it. So now they're going to try to use these pistols to the best of their ability. Economy's still shaky for Tyloo, so every kill is absolute money in the bank here for MVP with the pistols here. So far, so good for Tyloo. Haven't lost a player. Taking out Seth.
HSK going to try and push the issue. Deagle here for Stacks. A bit of damage done, but nothing too relevant just yet.
They're the last alive in towards upper. Probably not going to be making anything happen. So only 1 gun loss for Tyloo means T-side money going to start to build up for them. 6 for 6. MVP. Got to be getting a little bit worried at this point.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they feel confident in their T-side.
I think they do have a good T-side, but by the same token, I don't know, man. Alright, what's the money looking like? Very good for MVP. This is their chance. And this has got to be a convincing one, because look at the money on Tyloo.
Yeah.
Only lost 1 player in that round. They've still got plenty of cash. They continue to buy into not only the next round, but maybe even the one following. If they don't, it'll be a single save. And heading into the last couple of rounds of this half, that's pretty unlikely. So I'd say they're going to be buying out the rest of this half, which means MVP, they need clean rounds. In this 13th, 14th, and 15th, they need the money to be able to contest the buy of Tyloo. And if they don't have it, then that's going to give Tyloo freebies that they don't even need at this point with 6 rounds. Utility exchanged at Ivy over towards Inners. Somebody's taking control and putting a little bit of pressure on that part of the map. Looks like they were about to line up the run boost, but the smoke comes out for MVP. So Tyloo just taking their time, spotting out that SL area. Been Bentet, who's just been keeping tabs on Zeph, who I have to say, Tyloo have been doing a pretty decent job of locking him down. He only had 1 really great round over towards that SL area.
Yep.
And since then, he hasn't really got a whole lot done. So now Tyloo, after just spamming out that part of the map again, Summer's throwing the utility towards Ivy, which is keeping MVP's rotations honest, and the rest of Tyloo are grouping up in towards Inners. This is a recipe for success. They're going down the checklist every time, but this time the difference maker is that Zeph, they deal with that Ivy player.
Zion not able to get anything done, and maybe Zeta to be the hero for MVP. He at least delays a little bit for Tyloo and keeps the numbers advantage there for the CT side. Zeph will get another one. Excuret and Bentet, the 2 players from Indonesia. No communication issues here for them, that is for sure. Great shot from Excuret, spots a couple more, but the repeak will get the better of him. Now it's on to Bentet. Timing is key for him here. They haven't spotted him out, and he'll get a free one onto Zeph. But now where does he look? A player above him, and a player past the oil train. He walks into both. That'll be the round for MVP.
Potential for them to pick up a double AWP here if they do want it, and it looks like they're juggling it over. HSK is going to be throwing that one.
Oh, yep.
There it is. He picks it up. Stacks and Zion going to have to be dropped guns. Not a clean round for MVP like they needed. So again, their economy is on the verge of collapse. Tyloo will be able to buy into this one, but they're probably going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of cash as well. So this, for both teams, could definitely be them playing for 2 here.
Maybe we do get to 8 for Tyloo.
2 of their players have got 2K, but the rest of them are pretty broke. So yeah, this is definitely a case of MVP could be playing for 9-6, but Tyloo could also make this an 8-7.5. Yeah, and utility exchange towards Ivy this time. Aggression out from HSK, punished for it by Fancy, who's been doing a fantastic job in this Ivy role.
Well, maybe onto Zeph again. The HE nade's not really posing too much of a threat for him, and he's a threat for Tyloo. You're absolutely correct. Bomb dropped into SL, and Tyloo are going to have a big mission to retrieve that one. Zeph, does he hear the drop? He just dodges the bullets and does get somebody. This will probably be the round now for MVP. Could have really turned on a dime. Extra just sees him. He's like,
what up?
Crap.
Literally. I mean, he was heading towards the changing rooms. He was literally caught with his pants down on the way there.
Yeah.
Now, Summer, he opened up the round, but can't do anything past that.
Finally.
That was a man advantage for Tyloo as well, and then bent it. I mean, you have to say, what was that, mate? He just drops the bomb at Zeph's feet, and Zeph just goes, all right.
Okay.
I'll take it. Oh, man. Bit of a misplay there from Tyloo, an expensive one.
Yeah, that's finally a clean round for MVP. Perhaps a bit too late in the half, but...
Oh, yeah. But now they've earned this potentially easier round out of Tyloo. 2 AKs for the lads, a MAC-10 and 2 Deagles. Not much utility, so they're going to have to do a bit of a faster one time. He's going to drop the Molotov, and he's well aware that they could come storming out upper ramp. The rotation's coming out from Zeta and Zeph now.
Zine! He's like running up with a grenade in hand and just sees 3 players looking at him as he gets on top of the train. Not going to end well for him. Zeta, though, posted on the line, and he is having a better game now. Really getting it going with the AWP. Again, it's 2v4. Bentet an attacker this time. What are they going to be able to do? Attacker missing some shots, but makes amends for it. HSK goes down, and we're back up into the B halls now. The grenade's coming through. Attacker gets another one. But Zeph trades back, and it's just the Deagle for Bentet. Smoke is here for Stack, so a defuse in the smoke is possible. He's been spotted, and he surely knows where he is. The grenade through. What is going on? What am I watching?
I'm going to need to take a chill on that one. I'm not even going to try to analyze that.
Literally saw where he was. Did he think he ran out of ammo?
I don't know, but I think we're going to need to take a breather after that one.
Yeah, we definitely are. All right, guys. Everyone, go take a cold shower quickly in the break because this game is only getting crazier. Going to head into the second half after this.
What are you doing? I love you. Thank you so much.
Whoa, Jazz, what the frickety frick? Whoa! Whoa!
The whole gifting subs thing, that is magical.
Well, it's a bit of a fan favourite, that song in the break. Certainly a favourite of our friend Blair, who is having a good time watching this game. Tyloo and MVP, obviously a classic of Asian Counter-Strike, and I think we're getting a classic Asian Counter-Strike game tonight, aren't we, Pilly? It's 1:30 in the morning. We had OT on map number 2. Map 3's been just absolutely cooked. I mean, what more could you really want out of a game between Tyloo and MVP at this point?
I mean, last time it was a bit of a jailbait when I casted it in the group stage with Blair over in Indo, because we were like, oh man, Tyloo MVP, this one should be great, and then Tyloo kind of whooped him.
Yeah.
But this time, it's a bit different. So back and forth, crazy action. I've got a tension headache, but I'm still excited. I'm still ready and very here for this.
You totally sound like it, Pilly.
Yep. Unfortunately, by nature, I'm monotone, slumped over, and wow, look at that gaming mouse. Anybody any idea what model that is?
What?
Is that an Intelli? That looks like an Intelli mouse to me.
God, this observer.
That's
amateur,
a classic.
Amateur.
I won't call him out by name, Jordan.
Neither will I. But look, I'm just going to have some words with MC after this. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying who the observer is.
But there's one person I'm interested in.
But I am going out the back to talk to MC. See if he needs a new gaming mouse. The match is live, everybody.
Okay, so I had a point to make that I should have definitely made before, but I'll wait for a bit of a lull because I want to talk about this pistol. It's an important one.
We've already had a couple of lulls in this map.
Many lulls. All right, quick smoke over towards Ivy for MVP to try and pull. Actually, it's a smoke deep into CT con, and they're going to try and explode out lower. That's a nice trade.
I mean, somebody just... Well, I almost expected somebody to just flick around there and get HSK. 3v3, though, it leaves MVP with an opening here, but taking long-range aim battles like that against the USPs with just the Glocks, never going to work. Attacker does fall to Zeph. Bomb plant and attempt, but Summer is going to deny. And HSK won't last much longer either.
That's a nice pistol for MVP. They really sold that rotation in towards inner, but then came straight back towards outer. Molotov on CTCon to try to break the rotations down, but still two of those Tyloo players just chilled. They just waited there, and somebody really killing that player in towards T-Con is probably what made them feel like, hey, why is there a guy in towards T-Con here when all the lads are heading back towards inner?
It's a good one for Tyloo to win.
So
yep.
Tyloo had a really strong start last time these two teams played on their CT side, but once MVP got rolling on their T side, Tyloo got, how many is this? 6 in a row to start things off, including pistol. And I'm just going to talk straight through this spray down that Bented's about. Never mind, he's going to get nothing. It's a 1-for-1. He hasn't sprayed anything, but somebody, he's a maniac. He's run straight up the ladder. He's making cash. He's making bank. 600, 1200. That's 1800, and the 300 from the pistol. 2100.
Very good maths.
Thanks.
Good maths.
Anyway, Tyloo, they got 6 rounds in a row, including pistol. But then once MVP got rolling on their T side, they got 8 rounds to 1. Once they started to get T rounds on the board, they had a nice streak where it feels like they probably worked Tyloo out a little bit on their CT side, and they were able to get things rolling.
Well, what kind of adaptations has Tyloo made since then?
That's going to be the question.
They've
seen a lot of MVP's T side on this map very recently, so they could be that second level of mind games going on.
Yeah, good buy round though for MVP. First of their half.
Tyloo's doing a bit of a throwaway, it looks like. Excruit's going to keep the scout. Famus and UMP kept. Ooh, HSK off the back of the flash from Zine. See you, somebody.
Yeah. Not pleasant.
I think that's probably the ladder player as well. Dead. Dead in the water. What am I talking about? Zeph's the ladder player. On T and CT. Ladder is his city.
Okay.
He's a ladder goat. There's a throwback.
I remember that meme. It's not quite as funny now that I watch it when I'm like 24.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Many things are less funny once life's slowly started to beat you down.
Oh, okay, that's a bit grim. Excurate also doing the dirty here on MVP. That's how they win the round. Excurate, he's got an AK now. But he will be traded out by HSK. Still, even despite the opener that MVP gets in this round, and the awful buy that Tyloo had coming through, comparatively, they still put themselves in a winnable position. HSK and Zeta have no HP.
Options are endless at this point, though. For MVP, 40 seconds to go is going to be the big limiting factor at the time. Bentet, he was in SL, but it looks like he's probably going to make his way up the ladder and in towards inner. Fancy just going to chill in that CT connector. So, the push through Ivy will be unguarded by Tyloo. MVP actually summers up in towards the heaven here.
He should get at least one.
Oh, they're very low. He
probably can get both.
He's going to wet noodle both of them. Watch it.
Oh, well, he's playing a bit more safe now. Okay, there's the first. Ooh, 1 for 1. That's probably expected, but look at this. Great position from Bentet. I was going to say, the longer it takes for MVP to get into the site, the more time it allows for Bentet to rotate into T-Con.
So, MVP, they got the opener, and then they did a very cool execute towards outer where they did just the 3 smokes on the bomb chain and the smoke towards Ivy as well. And Tyloo went, that's cool. How good are your smokes when I'm inside T-Con and at E-Box in front of them shooting you before you can make it out onto the train yard? And that was pretty much the story of that round.
Well, we go back to one of those classic MVP force buys.
Well, yeah, they're trying to make the best of it. Tyloo only had 1 alive, so they're under a bit of economic pressure.
Maybe not for much longer. Somebody gets 3. The laser back out in force. An attacker also putting in some work this round. It's over for MVP here. Zeta, I mean, sure, you could argue you can do some damage, but probably not much of a factor regardless.
Well, Jordan, I know you're not much of a stickler for history.
I mean, I like history.
But last time, this is what happened. Tyloo, they had a good start on the CT side. But after MVP started to get rolling, then they were pretty convincing. So we'll see how things go. MVP, they're starting to build up a fair bit of loss bonus here. Not really convincing enough money to have a cool buy into this one. And we saw what happened when they tried to force the issue in terms of buys on Mirage. It was not pretty. They kept trying to buy AK and armor and not good utility, and they were getting banged out of the server.
Yep.
They've learned from their mistakes. They will not be doing that on Train. We trained an even worse map to try and attempt something of that nature than Mirage.
A lot of utility used early here by MVP. Summer could get double peaked, but won't. And in the end, no concerns at all. Bit of eco frags. Make sure you had them stats.
More concerns for MVP as Tyloo, they didn't use many grenades in that round.
Yeah.
So, honestly, after winning that round, they probably had to spend something to the sum of like $1,000, $1,500 across the entire team in this gun round. Like, that's so much cash that they've been able to hold on to, which means that's good things for the stability of the CT economy going forward on Train, which is going to allow them to really consistently string rounds together. And even if MVP do pick up rounds here or there, they're going to need to win a streak of rounds to break Tyloo's economy. And it's funny I should say that, because that's exactly what they did last time.
It's going to be a quicker play in toward B. Maybe not now from MVP. They've already been spotted. They've already taken some damage. And Tyloo just backs away. Zeph is caught between a rock and a hard place, but looks like he's going to get out okay. Bentet actually getting stacks with the grenade. The utility usage so far on the CT side from Tyloo has been very good.
They are out of util now at this point, though. Pretty much. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. EP, they're down a man. They have control of Brown Halls, although they had to lose stacks to get it. They are just waiting around for something to happen at the moment. And Tyloo, they're not pushing. They got aggressive before, but that was in a disadvantageous situation, and now they're in an advantageous situation. They don't feel like it's necessary. So here we go. Smoke deep into CT connector, and a smoke on the left side from MVP, as well as some Molotovs. Going to start to sell a bit of a rotation. Attacker on his way, somebody going as well. Flash over T-Con, sets up HSK to get on top of this blue train, or actually head out towards E-Box and swing wide, trying to catch somebody. But Fancy's got him covered.
Hasn't caught anyone. Zeph, long spray down, does eventually get executed, but Bentet's there for the trade. Bomb goes down now for MVP. They're going to desperately try to hang on, or Zeta's desperately going to try and hang on, because he's got 4 players headed in his direction. And, well, he's no Jon Snow. He's not going to be getting out of this one against all the odds.
Yeah, look. The riders on this particular game of Counter-Strike a little bit better than Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Not really a hard feat to be doing in the first place.
Wow, sounds like you might be a little bit salty. That's all I'm saying.
Regardless of all condiments aside, all spices aside and seasonings, MVP, that was a pretty decent attempt at the 4v5, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was pretty intelligent use of utility to push and pull rotates and pushing at the right times, but they just didn't win enough of the aim duels at the end of the day. And now Tyloo, what did they get? Did they get 9 or 6 last half? They got 6, right? 6 on the T side.
Yeah.
So last time these two guys played, Tyloo got 6 in a row as well. So this is the point where MVP the last time actually started to get things together after a pretty close first half.
It's not too little too late just yet. Like, this game still can hang in the balance if MVP can actually get something done in the half.
It is a pretty rough state of affairs, though, because Tyloo has such a strong economy at this point, and that's something that I can't really check up on. I don't know how close some of the rounds were. I know that MVP didn't win clutches to be able to convert those rounds. They were converting them just by, you know, good T-side strategies. But I have a feeling this is a really good scenario for Tyloo. They're definitely in the driver's seat. They've got a lot of cash to lean back on.
Yeah.
Means a lot of utility orgs and AWPs, as many as they want for the near future at least.
I mean, look, all you got to say is they're up 12-9 on CT side of Train. I think anyone's going to take that,
they got a lot of cash.
The situation. From here, you should be closing it out.
He's got a lot of information towards inners. He hasn't quite been tested by Zeph just yet. And somebody's in towards SL as well. MVP flashing on the line towards Ivy.
Oh, that's dangerous for Summer. Just waiting to see a shot come through. That smoke from MVP. Particularly Zeta. No such shot comes. 47 seconds now left in the round. A bit of time has been spent by MVP for not a whole lot of return. They're starting to get control in toward SL, into T-Con, into toward Ivy. But it's very late in the round.
It's all going to be down to these aim duels, and there is 4 players for Tyloo on outers right now.
Yeah, Summer has set himself nicely on the line as well. Zion going to peek out and cops one in the head. Zeta going to try and trade, and he will. Zeph also chiming in for MVP, but the reality is that, like you said, too many Tyloo players on that A bomb site, and we are starting to get into the death throes now for MVP.
That's just because Zeph, even though he sat above SL the entire round and put pressure on somebody, he never tested Bente, who had full information of that Brown Halls area. MVP, they didn't run, how do I say it? They didn't run an extensive enough default. They had a 3-1-1 setup where Zeph was the only player towards inner, and the emphasis was put on Ivy. But they didn't use any sort of utility, or Zeph didn't really put any pressure on towards that inner area, and that just allowed Tyloo to have full information that, hey, no one's towards inner, which means you can just hit 4 players on that outside bomb site, just like MVP did on their CT side. And even though MVP, they can get those 2 trades in, at the end of the day, there's just too many angles to deal with in the late round for MVP. If they're not getting those clean entries, they're not going to be able to make anything happen. And again, hey, this is a story I've seen before. MVP trying to make a lackluster buy work against Tyloo's rock-solid CT side, and it's not a happy ending for MVP most times.
No, definitely not. Well, Tyloo, every time you see someone start to question them as the quote-unquote best team in Asia, they managed to put on a performance that, again, just throws a spanner in the works for that storyline. And this may well be one more of those. MVP not having much luck today. If they would have got the win here, really we would have had a big, big question over Tyloo. But that has been staved off, at least for now. Assuming Tyloo do win today. It's looking like they will. Execute on the B site, having some trouble up against Zeph, however. But attacker close should at least be able to equalize the numbers here.
Zion is wrapped in behind him with the Mac 10 as well.
Yes.
So still options here in this round for MVP. Summer stayed on this outside train yard, but Zion obviously is the big talking point.
Oh, timing. For Zion. Is he going to catch attacker? I think he does here. But if he strays too far forward, attacker's going to spot him. case. Double dink into the head. Zion finishes him off.
Gets the molly on CT Con as well.
Summer can go for this though. There's so much money for Tyloo.
Sure.
And to be honest, that molly doesn't really buy that much time for MVP. So if he just rocks around the corner here, cleans up Zion, then all of a sudden we're into a 1v1. Doable, caught on the jump. Perfect timing from setup. 13-10. First round of the half though for MVP.
But the fact that Tyloo has about $1 million, he actually didn't have a kit. He didn't buy one. Attacker died with one though, so
I'm sure there would have been one, yeah.
He would have been able to pick it up. Hopefully. Regardless, MVP wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty. They didn't have the best buy, and they still don't, because they only had one alive, but they get the round. First of many that they'll need. Tyloo's economy starting to look a little bit more mortal. Attacker with $250 in the bank. Extra and Summer getting a little bit lower, but everyone else doing fine. So, not quite securing what they need just yet from MVP, and this is going to be another hard-fought round. Somebody getting aggressive, getting some key information, utility flying over outer, only one set, and somebody could be ready for this, but Attacker, he's locking down that push out SL, the flash is coming over the top, MVP very split up, but Zeph's getting the key entries once again towards inner.
It's enough to equalize at the very least. Now MVP can start to take control of the bomb site itself. Zeph will drop though. And now there's real problems for MVP because, as you say, somebody rotating around. He's going to get out of there scot-free as well. Zeta will try to trade and can't quite manage it. Pistol, rather the bomb I should say, goes down. Now Zion, he didn't check attacker. What? They're
His
like ships
sense
in a
is
night.
so high that he didn't see Zion. Literally, he's flicked so aggressively that he didn't see Zion. If he had a lower sense, he literally would have seen him on his screen.
Literally.
How ridiculous is that?
That's ridiculous.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. That he's turning his mouse so fast that he can't see Zion.
He's got a Hadron Collider in the mouse.
Needs to relax. Needs to cool it down. I don't know, Zion. He's got himself an AK. Summer's
He's got
not
10
got
seconds, man.
He's not got a whole lot of HP.
He's got 10 seconds. Well, he's going to hear the push here from Summer. If he hits a great shot, now it's doable. Ooh.
You're being a big hater.
I was getting ready. I was laying the groundwork for a great clutch. You say they're out of it.
First you say there's no way they could do this.
way.
Okay, one frag, whatever, man. Okay, you killed 4 people. Oh, he's done it.
He's done it.
Wow.
What a madman. Subverting expectations. Game of Thrones, Season 8. That's what it is.
Okay.
I've learned about it. That storytelling, man.
Yep.
I'm all about that.
What they teach you in story school. Oh, man. Could that be a storyline here? Because MVP is pretty down and out of it at this point. I don't know if they can necessarily come back into it.
No. I
Don't
don't
think
think so. Tactical pause, though. Bit of time to think.
And Tyler's pretty good at train. They've impressed me, particularly with their T side.
Okay. 14-10.
Another not great buy out of MVP. They're fast down SL as well as heading towards this inner's area. Looks like he's winding himself up for a push in towards upper ramp, but he's going to call a cancel on that. A hard nope. Man, the timing could be here for MVP. They see Bentet going aggressive towards that upper ramp area. He's dropped all his utilities, bought time for the rotations to come in. Here's Attacker. Now somebody's made his way into SL as well, a key position that he could use to potentially flank MVP. Molotov doesn't actually quite make it through that smoke.
Scary. Scary now for MVP. Again, they've used a fair bit of time. They haven't really got that much map control. A lot of utility being spent here. But into the B bomb site, they're going to go once again. Attacker posted on the line, only gets one with the AUG. Now it's on to Bentet, who starts to creep on forward. Oh, Zeph spots him out. What is this, Bentet? That's the round. That's the Bentet round. And that'll be a round, surely, that puts Tyloo through to Occitane.
Oh my god, Zeph. We gave Ben10 a heart attack. You triggered Ben10 into his beast mode.
Yeah.
He's getting dropped on top of from upper end. Oh my god, and again, MVP. It's just another round where they just have rifles and not great utility, and they're just trying to make the best of it, but it's not enough. Tyloo, they've been too oppressive on train so far. Say what you like about MVP's streak of beating Tyloo on Mirage.
Doesn't matter if you can't win the best of 3.
Doesn't matter if you can't win the train.
Well, MVP will feel so close yet so far.
I mean, now that Tyloo's shown us how good they are on train, that summer round on Dust 2 has so much more meaning now. Because that could have been MVP 2-0 in the series.
Yep.
That could have been it.
Yeah, it could have.
It should have been.
Probably.
Alright, MVP. Let's see what you got. Bit of pressure on towards inside, but Ben10's still got full information, just spotting that out, so that's not going to cause a rotation. Attacker's still boosted on top of CTCon. Everyone else still very much committed towards outside, and MVP. Here we go. They're throwing what smokes they have. Flashes over the top. Attacker's already going to find a kill. Man disadvantage.
Well, Attacker, a 1-for-1. Excurrent misses a critical shot. Someone's going to continue to push down, though, and he might be the linchpin in this round. Doesn't actually get HSK. Sharp shot. That's what he needed to keep the round alive for MVP. Ben10, has the beast been awoken? Maybe so. Finds Zeph, high HP player. Stacks only has a Galil, and he's also been spotted. It's Ben10 again. 16-10. And I said it, man. I said it. That's the round that's going to bring Ben10 back. And we are here with Tyloo pushing us through to the win. And not quite Occitane just yet, but very, very close. I've got my boutique on from Indonesia. I'm repping the boys. I'm feeling like it's Tyloo through to the global finals, and I'm sure you would agree.
I would. That's heartbreaking for MVP, though. Definitely could have been their series. However, it won't be the case.
Alrighty, guys. We're going to take a quick break. We've got the post-match analysis after this.
Dancing on my own when you spill that ramen coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that hits first sight. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, I swear
2-1 victory for Tyloo today over MVP, and while it's not quite enough to secure their place at the Global Finals, it might just be. Obviously, tomorrow's matches may still play a part, but Tyloo, they've done the hard work, and now looking forward to moving their way towards France. It's been a while since we saw Bentet and the rest of the Tyloo guys getting to one of these international events, but they're finally back.
I think the last one was probably Star Ladder or something like that. Was the when Tyloo played an international tournament, which was actually won in China. We had all the best teams in the world there, but you know, it was still in their home country. So it's been a while, maybe since they travelled overseas for an event. So it should be good to see. Now we're looking at some of these highlights on Train, which, look, MVP got off to a nice start, but it felt like, to me, Tyloo were in complete control of this Train game. It felt like after they started to get it rolling on the T side, and particularly with how impressive they looked on that CT side, I wasn't expecting this out of Tyloo. Tyloo are a sleeper on this map. They impressed me very much so.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting this series out of Tyloo. Like, I thought coming into this, their form hasn't been great. MVP's looking phenomenal at the moment. But yeah, things have just been a little bit different to kind of what I thought was going to happen. MVP maybe a little bit slower out of the gates. Tyloo definitely looking solid today, and we're kind of back to that equilibrium that we have had for the last couple of years, where Tyloo's on top, MVP's close, but just not quite close enough.
But let's be real, like, this wasn't, apart from Train, like, this wasn't a convincing, super cool win from Tyloo or anything like that. Like, it was sick to see their resilience and all that, but let's look at it in context. MVP should have won Dust, the way that sort of panned out, but some big plays sort of got Tyloo through. And then that 14-2 lead on Mirage, like, MVP felt like they were the more dominant team in the earlier parts of this series, but once it came down to Train, I mean, Tyloo just impressed me. I thought they were the much better team in that third map.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've got to speak about one more thing before we do close the show, Pilly. Obviously, we've been looking at all the plays throughout today's matches, and we want to talk about the highlight that we thought was the play of the day today. And I think we go back to Mirage for this one, don't we?
Yeah, we got a couple different contenders. You could talk about Fancy's play with the AWP, but or you could talk about some of those Bentet clutches. But I feel like this ace from Zeta was the best play on its own. Just being able to ace and 1v4 clutch from the Palace with some really clean shooting with the P250 is just beautiful to see. And although he wasn't a whole lot of pressure, they were already up 13-2. I mean, just the mechanics of this from Zeta, it's amazing.
I mean, you think this should be a map-winning play, right? You win the pistol round up 14-2. It should have been a map-winning play for Zeta. You get that momentum as well out of an ace on the pistol round, a clutch like that. Wasn't actually the case. They went all the way through to overtime. MVP did end up winning that map, putting us through to Train. But look, yeah, very, very good individual play. Not the kind of thing that you get to see every day.
Definitely not. And yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that individual skill being displayed by Zeta. He had a pretty decent showing for himself over the course of tonight. And although some of the other players might have rivaled that, I mean, I feel like Summer's play wasn't as impressive in terms of the shot he hit and in terms of the context of some of Bentet's clutches on Train there. For me, I felt like Tyloo were going to win that anyway, so it's nice to see that pistol in terms of the impressiveness of how he actually came away with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we do have to check out how things are going in the Pro League itself now, with these standings having been updated after day 2. It's Tyloo sitting pretty in first place, 2-0.
And they've also
Lucid Dream.
They've also won the head-to-head, right, against MVP, which is the big one, heading into their match tomorrow. Even if like MVP goes to a 2-1 and then Tyloo loses that, goes to a 2-1 against one of the Thai teams, Tyloo is still going to have won the head-to-head.
Yeah.
If Lucid Dream beats Tyloo convincingly tomorrow, like somehow, then...
Well, if Lucid beats Tyloo, that's a 2-1, then the head-to-head.
And then the head-to-head would favour Lucid Dream against Tyloo, but Tyloo against MVP, but MVP against Lucid Dream, and then that's when my head starts to spin, and I'm pretty sure that would be some like map difference or loss difference that it will come down to.
Yeah, that's a discussion that we have to have tomorrow night if we get there. Quite frankly, I'm not seeing it happen for Lucid Dream.
It's an unlikely outcome.
Yeah, Tyloo so far throughout this season in round 2 have been undefeated. They've gone 4-0. It's looking a little bit cleaner than what we saw out from them in round 1, where in their group they took a little while actually to kind of get the ball rolling. They did actually have to go into that sort of that 3-way head-to-head tie in that final day, which eventually they did end up getting through. But this is looking a lot better from Tyloo. Maybe the Train's kind of getting back on track.
Yeah, literally. I mean, Train has been pretty impressive for them the last couple of times that they played it. So maybe starting to widen and diversify their map pool, and that's always good to see from a team that it's historically been pretty one-dimensional in terms of the map pool. So tomorrow, things I'm looking forward to really are Lucid Dream, seeing if they can get that 2-0 and put us into a head spin in terms of the three-way tie.
Well, speaking of tomorrow, we're going to have a quick look at how our matches for tomorrow are going to shape up. It's Lucid Dream and Tyloo to start the day. So that is the really important match. It could be the one that makes a difference. Quite frankly, I don't think that it will, but there's always that possibility. Alpha Red and MVP really playing for pride at that point. That's coming up tomorrow. We're starting at the same time as we did today, which was 8 p.m. Australian Standard Time. We're obviously talking all the different time zones. You guys can figure it out. But look, I think at this point, for most people, it's probably pretty clear that Tyloo is the team that's going to be going through the global finals, which is kind of good to see in a way. You know, they're always a good representative for the region. I might have liked to have seen MVP, this new roster, going through and see how they did. But
by
maybe
the same token, though,
yet.
they've had their shots, right? They're going to go through to Cologne. They're going to go through to... they've been through to IEM Sydney recently, so it's good to see a different representative go through to a different tournament. We sort of diversify and see, different representatives from the Asian region. How far will they go in certain tournaments rather than just MVP every single time?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But obviously, MVP has been quite a scintillating prospect with this new roster. What's going to happen with Tyloo, especially with the whole Freeman thing? Vici obviously having lost him, and where does that leave? Maybe he goes into Tyloo, something like that. There's rumors about that.
I've heard conflicting rumors. I've heard that he is definitely and that he's definitely not. So who the hell knows at this point?
I've also heard of a bunch of crazy rumors surrounding Tyloo, but obviously that's something we're going to have to find out in the near future. What I do know, guys, is that is the end of our show here for ESL Pro League Asia tonight. As I said, we'll be back 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We do hope you join us there for the culmination of season of ESL Pro League. Have a good night.
What?
Blanchard, what are you doing? I love you. Thank you so much.
Whoa, Jess, what the frickety frick? Whoa! Whoa!
The whole gifting subs thing, that is magical.